Yeah, and with the, I mean, look at what's happening already, right? The focus here, trying to at least get anything if they can, but first turtle being up, they're going to get a situated Felix, though.
Oh.
I mean, Felix is playing this well, right? It's important for Felix to actually trade against this Khalid alongside the wave so he can get multiple vengeances down to top off that health. But now here we go. Astral Echo has been laid out. They spot all four members, and it's huge! They get a great knockup. NetherRealm keeps them alive. Now it's going to be the final slash to actually turn things around. First blood onto Kyrie's side, and even Keyboy trying his best gets pulled back by the Shadow Stampede. Sands finds the kill onto the MP, the King. The Minoan Fear was not able to turn enough, but it's still a 2-for-1 trade.
Wow, this is the chaos that you can expect the Khalid to do when he have that flicker ult. Not to mention he also have Keyboy, but laning phase here. Kosei is having a good time playing against CW.
For me, that was like a preview, right, of what that layering can look like when you have Keyboy with this Minotaur, you have the Minoan Fury, and then you have those Raging Sandstorms set up. So really, when you look at that, see you soon, they got a preview of it. They have enough time to kind of adjust from that. And nice dodge there, nice reflex, the thumbs up as well. But really, when that happens, if they can avoid from that setup, right? Whether that's utilizing the final slash from Sorry on Felix and then play around that, disengage, or maybe it's even just utilizing the NetherRealm. That timing is going to be so important for See You Soon. So still battling it out here once again for this turtle.
Oh. Now we see the Divine Judgment landing on towards Kyrie and instantly punishing him for walking up to the turtle side. I thought it was going to be an issue, but it looks like Onic forgot about one simple factor.
On the top lane side, all the action is happening. We have just seen Boxy the King. Oh, that was almost a steal. He uses a retribution even though he knows that carry is out. But again, I want to speak about something here, and that Kaja, this is something I didn't mention. Kaja is one of those heroes when you play a Minotaur you should be afraid from, because when you are raging out, he can cancel your ultimate, he can take you down and drag you to his teammates.
Yeah. CW might be in some trouble here. He takes a bit of damage, gets chunked down below half, and Boxy the King, again, they need to start making sure that they keep timers on when Boxy the King actually uses that Divine Judgment. It's dangerous, but it's also a linchpin for See You Soon.
Yeah, paying attention to that, the timing there. Oh, might initiate.
Yep, they go with the Blazy Duet so far. NetherRealm has already been called out as the Astro Echoes calls the rest of the team. The final slash comes on through, allowing Sorry I'm Felix to get out, but Boots stops the rest of the follow-up with a Raging Sandstorm. They find a kill back with the help of Sands, and King goes down. Kyrie now with a spatial migration finds a double kill with the help of the Violent Requiem. That's going to be 4 down for nothing.
Man, again, and it looks like it might go in the way of See You Soon, and then all of a sudden, smack comes Onic. And it was overlaid really well, but still, it's not a huge lead for them. See You Soon can kind of recollect here, try to find their own timing. And right now, it's got to be Boxy. He's got to be able to find things up. But this might not be it right here. He's trying to...
Oh, wow. What's he trying
I'm not
to
sure.
do?
I'm not sure what he's trying to do. Again, trying to bait something out here.
Let's see if he lands it. Nope. Force the flicker out of there. Sands, he wanted that kill. He wanted that kill bad.
Yeah. In that last team fight, crowd control speaks at its finest. We have seen a lot of crowd control being utilized from the side of Onic team just to make See You Soon paralyzed on that top lane side. But again, CW, I said the opposite. I said that Kosei is having the best time of his life, but after CW got those 4 assists in the early game, I cannot imagine how will he do in the mid game.
Yeah, that's tough, right? You got to kind of adjust from that, knowing that this is going to be a minor advantage for CW, at least in the gold lane. He's going to continue to farm up. So if you're See You Soon, once again, you want to be able to buy Kosei some time. You want to contest these, though, and that's what I like them doing here. But really, can they actually get a pick off? That's one of the biggest questions when you're utilizing this Kaja pick. Right now, they have the positioning on the turtle, though, and it looks like Onic might actually just give it up. Kyrie's not even a part of this, so MP the King getting that second turtle.
It's just too much effort, too much time, too much resources when Kyrie needs to start building up to his first and second items. I mean, at the end of the day, CW got a free tier 1 down bot side, and for what? For See You Soon to get a turtle, just a bit of EXP and a bonus turtle dragon buff? Like, it doesn't really do too much for them overall compared to Onic, who's getting influence over the map.
Well, seeing that bot lane turret has been destroyed right now by Team Onic, I can imagine seeing Carry in really good bushes.
Well, They've already started things off. The final slash comes out towards Kyrie's side. I don't think... Felix now getting punched, but here comes the Nether Realm for the counter engage. Retribution already being used, but sorry on Felix still trying to get out. Sands almost getting it, but here comes the Raging Sandstorm. Flickering on towards Big side. It's too much damage. They pull back. Luckily, no members of Onic go down. I could be wrong, but Sands finds another one, and Boxy the King, he doesn't miss a shot.
Man, the polling back and forth and just kind of whittling things down against Siasoon was really well orchestrated there from Onic, and now they're just continuing to put the pressure.
Yeah, after, are they taking it? Who took it? Who took it? Who took it? Oh, it's MB the King. Well, after seeing the Divine Judgment from the side of Team Siasoon there, I told you about it before it happens. Keyboy, once he triggers his ultimate, he's gonna be drugged down by Boxy the King. Oh, there's some recalls here. He's so confident right now. But I want to speak about something. Whenever Keyboy misses his ult, he have always boots to cover his back, and that's what we saw with this Raging Sandstorm coming in with a flicker from the side of Team Onic team.
Man, that's what is actually scary when you look at it all unfold, right? It's like a perfectly choreographed dance. You have Keyboy there holding on to that Minoan Fury. If he actually gets Divine Judgment, it's fine because you still have the Raging Sandstorm. You still have, spatial migration. There's so many possibilities to initiate a fight and pull back. That's what we see, right? Versus Keyboy, he pulls back if he has to flicker out. Then you have Boots coming in, and that's the problem for Siasoon right now, is kind of finding their way, navigating through all these entry points from Onic. Right, and right now that might be just, again, time could be on their side. If they can stall some of this out, you still have to rely on Kose. He is this Brody. Boxy, though, going to jump in.
Oh, conceal.
They triple forward, finds the Divine Judgment. Kyrie fights 3, and now the Violent Requiem going to chunk him out. NetherRealm keeps them alive for the time being, and Final Slash actually whiffing. This is not bad for the side of Onic. They still have a majority of their ults still up.
Kyrie positioned himself correctly in the next upcoming fight. He can take Brody out. He have a flicker and not a purify. So whenever Kyrie sees Kose, he's just gonna have really good ideas.
Here he goes. Oh man, sorry, Felix tries to spend, but Kyrie's going to be able to secure that lord of the back line. He's getting attacked so quickly, and now CW finds a double. Sans gets a mega one blazing duet to put him in the dirt. MP the King trying to run away. Sans not gonna let him go. Chunks him out. Oh, misses the shot. CW should get this, right? There we go. Secures the kill.
The
and
double
even Raw trying to... Sans, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. He's taunting him underneath inhibitor turrets, and even Keyboy getting him back. They pull off, and here comes the Lord already spawned.
All right. We have just seen a team fight that could have ended with a maniac. CW is just flexing his Demon Hunter Sword. He's flexing his golden staff. We have seen the damage. We have seen Sans giving vision all around the map, even though Boxy the King is the one who started that team fight, but the ones who ended it up there in the sky were Team Onic.
Again, I'm going to go back to the fact that I was saying before all that unfolded. It's great if you have a Divine Judgment. You pull Keyboy, but then what? And that's where you saw the triple spatial migration, gets the NetherRealm out, and it collapses from there. It really just feels like there's too many options for Onic right now, and really, if you do find a pick, do you have enough damage? If you're Siasoon to actually follow up, and time and time again. Gideon, I know you love the word feint. This is what's happening. A lot of the times, it's even just Kyrie baiting out the final slash.
Exactly, because Kyrie's one of the only few people in the lineup of Onic right now, in terms of the draft, right? Playing this Guinevere to get in and out of fights. If we're talking about Boots, he doesn't necessarily want to get out of the fight. He kind of wants to end the fight. And the same can be said about Keyboy, right? They don't have the most amount of mobility once they've committed all of their resources and all of their spells.
Yeah, quick reflexes, that's what we got used to by seeing Kyrie, even though he's not an assassin, even though he's playing a utility jungler, but yet he is still so smooth with his execution. Let's have a quick look here at the in-game equipment. We will see that Brody already have his Blade of Hypnosis and also the Melpicraw, which will give him a little good advantage when it comes to dealing some physical damage to the tanky heroes from the side of Team Onic. Speaking of the tanky heroes, we only speak about here Boots on the Khalid, Kyrie as well, and Keyboy. So by banning that carry, they did manage to have this tanky composition, and by this tanky composition, they managed to torture, I would say, Team Siasoon when it comes to the crowd control matter.
You know, the more that I look at this, and I'm thinking, like, was the carry ban necessary, right? Especially based on the first 3 picks. And
Yeah.
I think for the time being, I think Coach M had the foresight to see that maybe Siusu wanted to go for the traditional Kaja into carry pick, right? Because if we're looking at quote-unquote tanky heroes, it honestly is just Kyrie and as well as Keyboy. Boots is building full damage right now. And can we first talk about good guy Boots? The fact that he's level 13 to, sorry, I'm Felix, level 11.
Yeah.
This man is so far ahead of the game, which is not normal for Onic, who usually tell Boots, like, you just have to take it.
Well, what I love also about the builds is that I see Kyrie building half of the builds, the half of the cursed helmet, and also the half of blade armor. There's a conceal. What are they aiming for?
I mean, it's just cost efficiency, right?
They're making their way top for Sans, who is going to do just that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Navarre is probably not the play there, so they're going to go ahead and give up this Lord. Not really much they can do about it. So you're kind of wondering, like, is Siusu, do they feel like they're in this position now where they're 9K behind and they just have to find anything they can, you know, at this point in the game? It's only 13 minutes in here, Yasu.
The defense is possible, theoretically speaking, because you have the Paramis, you also have the Final Slash that can flip things around, but yet you don't have that wave clearance for Team Siusu. Depending on just having a Brody to clear and to deal some damage to the minions, the Paramis, I wouldn't agree that much when it comes to clearance, so it's going to be a little bit hard to defend in the minutes 13 or 14 minutes in and having 10k gold, or being 10k gold behind from Team Onic. The next engage, I would actually say chaos happening in the Land of Dawn. You have the Minotaur, you have also Khalid, and you have that Guinevere. Everyone will be just flying in the air at some point.
Sans was looking for that, right? But not going to be able to get it. Here's the Lord, though, bottom side.
Oh.
Still shots being fired from afar. That's the hard thing for Siusu to deal with right now in this siege on the base. So, bottom turret going to be taken out. Onic still putting the pressure here. They might actually force a situation knowing that they have this kind of lead unless they take the discipline route and they just get the base fully exposed with this first push in.
Yeah, I mean, just look at what they're doing right now. Like Onic, they could have synchronized the waves, but they've decided the Luminous Lord is going to crack open the very first inhibitor turret, right? So the next thing we're going to do is start sieging you down. Like Sans, get as many shots as you want. Make them feel punished for sitting in their base. Really hurt them, and we don't have to commit anything. Just sweep through their jungle.
Yeah, having the Blood Wings and also seeing the Malefic Roar comes for CW means that the damage will be more annoying on Team Siusu, especially when it comes to Sans, because he's just dropping bombs from far away and dealing tremendous amount of damage to Kosei and especially also to Ra.
Okay, so far so good though for Siusu. They're holding it together despite getting siege from afar. The shot after shot from Sans, but ultimately they only lose the one turret, right? Given the fact that they're down 10,000 gold, that's not too bad. Siusu though, look at the damage dealt, right? I mean, at one point, where is that point for them to crawl back into this game? If they can stay in the base, defend as much as they can, ultimately it's going to lead to Onic just taking another Lord, doing the same things until they are ready to actually force an initiation here. So that didn't happen with the first one that they went in with the Lord, but still, that's what's the future of Siusu, unless somehow, some way, they are actually able to pull something off. This is where I would like to say once again, and why I feel like LaFell likes to say this. Imagine if the Arlot, if Felix can actually get a final slash off, that's going to help them win a fight.
Now you're LaFell pilled. He is.
I'm missing him. I'm missing LaFell.
Look, we got to keep it based here. We got to keep it based here on the desk, right? The important thing is that Onic, at the end of the day, even if they try to force a fight onto Siusu, it can be very awkward, especially when it's underneath their crystal, right? And that's why Onic is purposely dragging this out. Hey, come on out. We're gonna call a technical pause, but come on out towards that Lord pit so that now you have nowhere to run. At the very least, we can commit to this fight.
Let's look at this game from all the aspects, since now we are giving the time. The last team fight, I would actually say that it was so easy to take the inhibitor turrets at least. You had an enhanced Lord, you have the gold lead, 10k ahead. You shouldn't be that much afraid from the final slash, because yes, it can make your position doesn't sound as solid as you wanted, but you have the items to defend whatever sort of damage that can be dealt upon you. Minotaur, also having Khalid, not just that, the damage from CW haven't been touched so far. Team Onic could have went for inhibitor turrets at least, and this is something I'm not quite sure why they weren't as aggressive as I expected.
Well, I think a lot of it boils down to, one, majority of the gold that's coming from this 9K gold lead is, one, Kyrie, and two, coming in from Boots as well. I mean, let's not forget, sorry, the big one, Sands, of course, and he's the one that's harassing, right?
Sure.
But Novaria is one of those heroes that plays in intervals. It's not as good as a Lilia that can kind of walk up, dish out all that damage, and as long as you hit the abilities, get those resets, and really push that advantage. Novaria doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And that's why they're trying to pull back, right? And let's not forget, Khalid is one of those heroes that, hey, if you have CC, Quicksand Guard ain't gonna save you anymore, right? And Arlet is pretty good at canceling it.
That's what I'm wondering. Again, you know, when it comes down to it, when you're, and this isn't just these two teams, but generally, let's say you're down 10,000 gold.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And you are pretty much turtled up in your base, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're just defending as much as you can here. What is, and we've seen this actually happen, but I'm just hypothetically throwing out there. How do you turn it around? You know, like, is it just a Hail Mary defense play that's going to only be the answer here in this situation with this lineup here across from them for See You Soon?
Well, you need to accurately activate Faramis's ult, because this is the only way Team See You Soon can buy more time. Because when it comes to defending the base, yes, the final slash can make everyone in a really bad position, etc., etc. But when it comes to Faramis, if he triggered his ultimate in a bad timing, if it's not on sharp, perfect timing, he's gonna lose the defense 100% for sure. But going ahead into the game, I cannot help but to remember seeing Sands having triple the damage dealt. Ooh.
Here we go. The chase has already started. The Lord falls into the hands of Onic, and they find a pick on the Sorry I'm Felix. And that's where See You Soon call it quits. They're like, okay, we're only willing to sacrifice Felix. That's about it, because he's the most expendable, and he's the only one who's going to be able to kind of set this big play up for the rest of us. That 5-man dream, not going to be there just yet.
Yeah, I mean, even in that case, it's like, should we have even been in that side of the jungle for the Lord, right? Like, what would we do? What would we accomplish? Even if we had the vision there, would it have been better if See You Soon just waited in the base? Yeah, you know, Sorry I'm Felix is going to be up by the time the Lord makes it here. But, you know, things like that are just going to further set you back in what you're trying to do, crawl back into this game. At this point, now 12,000 gold behind at the 17-minute mark. This is where Onic is going to force it, punch it in, and possibly end it here as the Lord makes its way into the base.
Yep, they've lost all their inhibitor turrets here. This might be an endgame scenario, as now we see that CW, he's got to be careful, right? Even though he does have the BMI in a safe spot, he is nervous about Boxy the King. He could really turn this around for them. They can harass for as long as they want, but as long as there's that counter-engage ability from the side of See You Soon, there's always the possibility. Kyrie is going to make the attempt. Keyboy starts things off, flickers in hard. The Netherrealm is going to protect him. Keyboy ends up losing his immortality, and now they're letting everything throw in the kitchen sink as well. It's going to be the Sand Storm God that keeps Boots alive immediately after the ult. It's too nasty. They can't do much about it, and Sands has done enough to put them in the dirt. See You Soon drop the game.
A decisive win, game number 1 here for Onic, under the 18-minute mark with a massive lead here. Very well executed.
Very well executed indeed, and that's what we are talking about. Just a matter of a millisecond can make the difference. Team Onic are now flying, and now they are the Sky Kings soaring beyond their limits. We just saw a perfect execution coming from the Minotaur, coming with the flicker ult. Keyboy does deserve that S and S+ tier given by his teammates, and also given by his enemies.
And again, the way I'll look at it here is with the lead that they had, leading into even that first push into the base, they took the discipline route, right? They didn't put the pressure in, because at the end of the day, they're still trying to go through those steps, you know, make sure the boxes are checked. Even if we have a 10,000 gold lead, we're still going to make sure we go through the motions properly and execute it the way they want to, right? And that's exactly what happened. At one point, See You Soon, I feel like they were just down so much that, you know, they tried to get vision on the Lord, that last one, but really, what could you do there, even given that disparity?
Yeah, they were going to get stat checked either way with such a large disparity as well. And not to mention, you know, it's interesting to see that at least for the side of Onic, they want to maintain a certain level of polish throughout the group stages, right? Previously, in some of their previous games where they were more, I wouldn't even say hesitant, but more sort of ballsy to make some crazier plays, I think now is the time that they're realizing that the knockout stage is getting closer and closer and closer. We might as well start now to get into that peak performance and finally find our stride once we start eliminating certain teams.
Well, I haven't seen Team Season play as passive at this game. I actually, yes, there was that moment when they approached the Lord, even though they were behind in gold and everything. But I have seen Team Season play more aggressive earlier on in the group stage. So I would just wait to see, are they relaxed because they secured that top 2 or not?
Well, again, keeping things together here on how they executed. The MVP for this game is also Sands. Once again, amazing performances so far throughout this entire group stage from him. And this is why I'm saying, when you look at Onic, yeah, you might want to point this person out, but really what's happened here is this entire lineup just pops off in different ways throughout the course of their game. The matches they go through, they all shine in their own way. And as you look at the highlights here from this game, yes, it was very dominant, right? And they started early on. A lot of these skirmishes could have gone in favor of See You Soon, but once again, it was all choreographed very well. The timing of everything, just like you see here from Kyrie, jump in, follow through. That's what, this is where that expertise really starts to shine on this squad here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the best part about Onic is that whoever has the lead, they change their style of play according to the person who has the money to back them up. And that's the fun part about it, right? That's why you're seeing that. Imagine if CW had a whopping lead. I think they would have been way more aggressive with a lot of the engagement. But since Sans is the one who has the cash, he gets to predetermine the way these fights actually go. You gotta wait for my Astral Echoes before you go in, nothing else. And then you start looking for engages. So he communicates very well with both Keyboy as well as Boots.
Yeah, and speaking of Sans, you cannot neglect the fact that he was triple the damage dealt by the nearest player in this game. And looking here, this was the final moments that Team See You Soon have witnessed in the Land of Dawn. They tried their best to defend that last wave coming in, but Team Onic is just the goal difference and also the crowd control that they have. Let's go to the statistics and see what the Team Onic bring up new, or even what did Team See You Soon bring up new. As you said, we haven't been used to see this such emblem or like this such set of emblem coming from the Brody. But what actually caught my eyes was at the end game when we get to the items is that Faramis also bought the room for himself for the team. So actually Team See You Soon before the game ended, they had 2 room and also they had 2 room, and I believe they were both for the conceal. So let's check here.
No,
it was that, yeah. So I just maybe I'm colorblind.
No, don't worry about it. It happens all the time. I've hung out with LaFell more times than no. In these types of situations, especially for those who are unaware, once you start hitting it in towards that 8-minute, again, there's not going to be a lot of time to actually make this work out. So, especially when you are looking to go for these builds, I'm more surprised that Kusei was going for the Master Assassin going into that gold lane, right? It felt like against See You Soon, they have done a little bit of homework on Onic and expecting that at least for Chairway, CW, Mr. Calvin would be by himself.
Yeah, and CW at some point he sold his own boost just because he knows he can rely on his teammate, and also because he needed that extra damage. He just dealt, or he just lived with the stacks coming from his first kill.
Yeah, and again, when you look at these things kind of unfold, right? One of the biggest things is the standout thing, I would say, from these teams, these regions that have been dominating for a while is usually when they have a lead, they are less likely to let it slip through their hands. And that's going even back from the wild card, right? This is something we saw a lot. We saw where it was comparison of these teams that have the utility part executed perfectly, right? The dances, the turtles, the lords, and everything else. But even back in the wild card, some of these teams, they just like to duke it out. But this time, Onic, they like to duke it out. But usually, again, when they garner themselves a lead like this, it does not slip out of their hands.
Yeah, and looking at the team fight participation from the side of Team Onic, you can tell that they used their formation to its maximum potential. Why so? Because they have this area crowd control heroes such as the Minotaur, also the Guinevere, and you can have the Khalid as well. And all of them had almost above 88%, which means that the team played for. And this is actually strange because I didn't think I would say that about Onic one day, because they have the Kyrie goes in, he have the most skill participation, but in this game they work as a team, as a full.
Yeah.
I mean like they use the area crowd control to always be together, not like have a one team fight on the top lane side and leave CW down there.
They basically layer things really well, right? With the draft that they took out, and that's the important thing, and that's why I'm saying this is a team that they. And if you consider all the strategies you've seen from Onic, really. There's so many, right?
Yeah.
Yes, there's distinctive play styles, but at this point, the current meta we are in, and even just in these 5 days of the group stages, if you guys have caught all the games, you've seen very different play styles from team to team, from from draft to draft. This last series alone, we had 3 different play styles from all of them performing drafts. And really, that's the thing. You just know that a team like Onic is going to have this game plan. They're going to execute it well. So if you're See You Soon, and what we've seen from them before is, like you said, it's all sweeps so far. And this is one of their first, I would say, really big challenges ahead of them, right? So how do you approach that if you're See You Soon? And how do you approach game 2 with a loss like this from game 1?
I think a couple of things that need to be understood is the fact that Onic is one of those teams where it's not like they have a set game plan every single time. They have a rough guidelines, which is very much the Kochiev philosophy, the way that he kind of holds himself and the way that he kind of interacts with a lot of his players. The same can be applied to the game, where you have a simple couple of guidelines of how you want to approach these fights, but at the end of the day, communication is always going to be key, and they're always constantly adjusting. During their time of MSC, one of the longest games that we saw coming in from Onic themselves, and I think it was it against Burnex Flash, if I remember correctly? I could be wrong. I'll double check that later. I was talking to CW at the hotel afterwards. You know what he told me? He told me, he was like, oh, what was the first thing that you said after you won that game? It's like, I need some water. Because they were talking constantly, again, back and forth to kind of adjust and refine the plan as they play throughout the game. And that's why it feels that Onic is a lot more fluid compared to a lot of other teams who need that rigid structure to play the game. That's why we're seeing the preparation from the side of Brody going for Master Assassin. That's why we're seeing the common emblems going onto this Arlet to hover around the turtle, because they know it's going to spawn on that side for the very first one at level 4.
Yeah, love the insights there, Gideon, and it leaves you really questioning how that things is going to change ahead of us. Now, of course, real quick for all you guys watching over there, here comes the TikTok drops. If you guys are watching on TikTok, the M5 has something special for you guys, an M5 on TikTok for 5 minutes, and you can win 1 TikTok viewer chest. Yes, there are chests out there. Watch out for 20 minutes, and you might win TikTok Deluxe chest. If you guys are here with us in the venue and you are somehow pull up TikTok, maybe you can get a chest as well.
I don't know where the pop-up is supposed to be. I think it's like the top right, but then it's vertical, so it's like it's even further beyond. You'll figure it out if you're watching on TikTok. It would make a lot more sense there.
Well, today started with 2 1s so far. It have been a day full of, I'm not gonna say sweeps, it's full series. So I would expect to continue the day that way. See You Soon have shown us, not today, but before, that they can make up something even better than what we have just witnessed. Team See You Soon can bring up something, and I'm wondering what it is. Will it be the pick-off strategy? Because we know that they have this Kaja-Kadida combo that actually reminds me of a team who's unfortunately not with us here in the tournament, which is Echo Philippines.
Yeah, well, it's funny though. They're actually here watching though. They just walk in.
They just walked in.
Big shout out to Echo. And as Yasu is mentioning, they are known for that Kadida and Kaja combination. Now, from the previous game, again, you're looking at the Kaja and you're like, well, that necessarily didn't work out too well because of what was across from you. Even if you got the divine judgments off properly, really, it just scaled way out of your favor. So is what you're saying here, Yasu, is maybe they should pick up the Kadida so they can hopefully, even early on, they have enough burst, they have enough early damage that they can automatically get that kill and that numbers advantage they're looking for.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that, but the only thing that could have prevented them from the last game specifically is that they took the Faramis as a first pick. So they had to build up something around it. Having the Kaja, actually, it hasn't been used to take CW out of the team fights. It always was used just to take Keyboy when he was using the ultimates, which is a really good thing. But there was this one time at the top lane side, at the Turtle specifically, he took Keyboy even before he triggered his ultimate. And at this point, he just jagged a disaster upon his team.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you see Onic like to poke and prod at their opponents, right? Like, think of it this way. Every single time, have you ever heard of the Pavlov's theory, where you condition your opponent a couple of times and eventually you kind of always respond in the exact same manner? That's what Onic likes to do, right?
Behaviorism.
Behaviorism, that's the best way of putting it. So first, they're going to start with the Minnow for you. Oh, that didn't work? Okay, let's switch it over. Boots, go in, you're next. Kyrie, you're next. And eventually, you start to understand how they respond each time you engage. And once once that Divine Judgment is gone, that's when you see CW actually walk in, because they're not going to throw the Claude in the middle of that. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, they're not. But, well, again, we theorize so much. Let's go ahead into the draft here for game number 2. Again, we've got Onic on this blue side. We've got See You Soon, this time on the red. Bans probably going to be very similar to what we saw in the previous game and how that unfolded. Now, you have to wonder, because See You Soon is going to have that response with the 2 picks coming up, how do they want to start to, paint this picture to hopefully, as Yasu said, get to a game 3? Because that's what today's been full of.
Yeah, and speaking of both teams right now, looking at Onic, they have the first 2 bans as the last game, and they will, if they continue the same route, it's a Nolan coming up next. But Team Seasoon, this time they are changing something. We haven't seen Team Seasoon banning the Fanny, and also yesterday, actually, Team Triple Esport haven't banned the Fanny. I don't know if that sends a message to Kyrie, or like even tells him like, you can go ahead, take your Fanny. But anyways, what did I miss?
Oh, sorry. It's not that you missed anything. It's the fact that Coach have decided, you know what? Phoveus needs to go, and it needs to go now.
Hey, I think he heard you earlier.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's like, we're setting up Nolan. Come on to you soon. It's up to you. And even Keyboy was giving a bit of a snicker back there. I'm not sure whether one of his teammates said something funny or he kind of agreed like, oh boy, Phoveus. Remember that game with Homeboys? Yeah, that was great.
Well, Phoveus or not, I'm glad the fairness is taken out too.
They will clear the road for Nolan. They literally give them Nolan. Tell them like, okay, Onic, you want Nolan? Go ahead.
Well, speaking of, there he is. He's going to be locked in here. Interesting.
Oh boy, he didn't have an abysmal win rate. 59%, it's good, but like, come on.
And this is confidence right here.
Right?
The Angela into the 1-1 in your swing back from See You Soon.
Exactly. This is what I want to see from See You Soon. Now, the other teams that faced off against See You Soon, there's a lot of it where it comes down to like, hey, you got to show us respect. You got to put them in. You got to put them in their place. If not, they're going to keep on disrespecting you and keep on pushing further and further and further each and every time. And that's what Onic have done. Look, they lock in the Beatrix. They get the Kaja as well. You want to go in with a hard guard and try and crossbow of tank? Divine Judgment says no.
I really do love Onyx draft right now. They already banned the amphibious that can make problems or like can cause problems for Nolan, but yet Team Seasoon took advantage of that as well. Having the 1-1, maybe they can even add upon that one more mobility hero. What do you think so far?
Whew. Well, I think it's interesting that Onic decided to take the Kaja this time around, but this is also something we usually see, right? Kaja, you pair it up with the Beatrix, you have that, then you have Nolan there. My biggest question is, how do you cover that front to back or even have that peel option for Onic later on? I think that's where we also have to see Seasoon focus on the second phase of bans as they go for it, but they're going to pick up the R-Lot here so far. So I would say Seasoon, hey, they're opting for comfort, at least for this match.
Oh yeah, it's not just comfort, but I'm expecting specific bans. Number 1, for the first time ever, people are now caring about what Boots actually is going to play. Too many times people have forgotten about good guy Boots. He takes one for the team, and even in the previous game, for the first 8 minutes, he was hard, well, to a degree hard carrying alongside with Sands, but it's good to see as an EXP laner, you have this much impact. Now first, Sands is going to be a problem with that Novari. We need to get rid of that, right? Get away from the trigger fingers, get away from the good stuff. The real question is going to come down to the second half of that draft where you're looking to kind of match up. Remember, See You Soon has that very last pick, and I think it's going to be leaning towards the EXP to get some benefits.
The EXP. Team Onic do need the EXP, but look at Team See You Soon. Would you guys think with me that maybe we'll see an Arlott switch to the roam and then Angela to the mid lane, because we have seen Ra on Angela, he almost got a Maniac one day.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the only one that had that kind of performance on Angela so far. But is that the question for what they want to throw at Onic right now? It could work. I mean, that's the point of flex. That's the point of adaptability, right? But you can see this too. Man, Yasu, they're hearing you, man.
Yeah.
They take out the Kadita. They don't want to give that option to Onic, who could have possibly went that way.
Well, Sans was quite annoying having the Novaria from a far distance. Imagine having the Kaja for Team Onic and also having the Kadita combo. It would have been just lethal for Team Seasoon. But here comes something that you kind of addressed the last game, Naisu. You said that why didn't we see, or like, let's say together that Kaja at this game specifically will aim for the 1-1. One will have a terrible time. She needs someone to take the hits for her, and I wouldn't suggest having an Arlot to keep someone away. I want more crowd control for Seasoon to while they're going in towards the game. Do you think, Gideon, that we might see an area crowd control or like a suppression here, or like Franco or something from the side of Team Seasoon?
I think this is one of the situations where you're probably going to need something that can actually phase check. I think as much as I would like to believe Martis is pretty decent here to kind of keep things flexible for the time being, because you would expect a jungle pick here for the side of Seasoon at the very least, right? You know, you want to have that flexibility at the very end, but at the end of the day, right, you also need to make sure. Oh, wow, you know what?
I called it.
Yasu.
I called it.
Just, you know, when you're typing like a really long sentence and then you're like, all right, I'm going to backspace a little bit there. So, hey, they lock in a Franco. I was actually thinking that this might be too risky, though, when you mentioned the Franco. You know, because, yeah, you have the Angela, who is now going to be going in the mid lane like we expected. It is Raw. But now you have the Franco. So if you are not finding those connections with the hooks, and I feel like, and let's say the final slashes that didn't work so great the previous game, that's where things kind of fall off already. You know, very early on in these engages, hard guard will only help you so much, because the fact that you lock in a 1-1, you have to be able to get those, you know, weak points off in the first place before you can get the airtime. So that's the struggle there, and I really want to know how they round this out. What do they put in the jungle? The other side, the flip side from Onic right now is the Charizzle and the Valentina. So if you look at this whole lineup from Onic, in a way it's kind of standard. And it falls into a place where, like, okay, our boxes are checked for the most part. We have an initiator, we have a peeler, we have someone to give a go signal to and just try to get a pick off early on or through the majority of the game. And at the same time, we have a Valentina who can take these other ultimates and use the best for the situation, right? So these are the things that CSU needs to consider on this last pick.
Well, against a team like Onic, you have to take the risk, and the point from having that Franco, for me at least, is to keep someone down, to hold someone down for the 1-1 to use her crossbow of Tang, which, and I've said this in previous matches, I don't see 1-1 as dangerous as others can do, because having the 1-1 and playing against it by the having the freeze or the wind of nature can actually quite suppress her, let's say, dangerousness, if I can say. So we have seen that actually yesterday. 1-1 triggering her ultimate just with one freeze, everything went down.
Yeah, the Winter Truncheon is pretty much a thorn in the side of all 1-1 players when it's popped correctly, right? So again, Yasu, real quick, looking at the lineups here, how's it looking? Right now, lineup rating is favoring actually Seasoon, but what do you think about that? I would
actually disagree with the numbers, because I would go and lean towards Team Onic, because having the Valentina for Sans, he can use the final slash, the hard guard, not just that, even the Franco also. Yeah, I think I would totally disagree with the numbers.
Well, we're going to find out what the numbers spell for us here as we load up into the land of Dawn. Game number 2 here between Seasoon and Onic, and it's match point right now for Onic. So can Seasoon actually take us to another Game 3 for this day number 5 of the group stages? And once again, Kyrie being on this Nolan, they're going to have to handle that and see what momentum they can build early on.
It's going to be Kyrie on the orange side of their map up against MP the King, making sure that his purple buff is taken away. This is going to be interesting, right? Because again, a lot of this is going to boil down to whether or not that level 4 is going to be activated as soon as possible, right? Any small advantages in the lane can be abused with how quickly Kyrie is able to kind of run around the map.
Looking here at Team Seasoon, and also like having in mind the numbers that we have seen saying that Seasoon have a better draft, I would actually agree on one specific point. When that crossbow of Tang is activated by Kosei, MP the King can just collect bodies, and this is the only thing I would agree with the numbers with. But so far, I think that Onic totally nailed that draft.
This is interesting too, right? You got double focusing mark, right? Both both of these, whether it's Boxy, whether it's Raw, you want to be able to provide that extra little bit amount of damage so you can actually capitalize on these kills, right? If they're able to pull that off. Having 2 of those alone could help them build the momentum they need. But really, once we get to the level 4s, that always comes down to, you know, the roamers deciding, okay, do we actually initiate? Are we going to be peeling? And I think that's why it's also so important when we saw, hold on, right here already.
Yep, he gets hit by the Iron Hook. It's not going to result in a kill just yet. Keep in mind, CW has Flicker and not Purify this time round. So it's going to be very important for him to maintain a healthy state in the lane.
Yeah. Looking at the top lane, we are not used to see babysitting, I would say, to the gold lane when it comes to Franco only. We just, or like at least we are used to see it with the healers. But right here, we can see that Boots is having hard time in the bot lane.
He's getting 2v1 so far, but as a Terizla, it looks like he's okay. Level 3 to level 4, as MP the King's going to start walking up his hard guard. Has been committed. Kyrie able to secure the first turtle of this game. They start backing off.
So even with that hard card, right, they're still going to go ahead and contest those. See you soon if they can, you know, continue to do that as the game goes on. The good thing is no one died, but if they can actually utilize that, pull it off, and then get a kill on top of it, that would help them here, given the situation. But even if you look at how that went, Onic was kind of calm and collected on how they handled that. And even with this, right, Boots going to miss that penalty zone. The thumbs up there from Felix. So really, it's up to these teams. But I want to point something out that we saw even from the previous game.
Sure.
When there's not a lot of kills happening here, one thing that Onic does really well is building a gold lead without getting the early kills, right? They play the map very well on how they handled it. So see you soon. They got to keep an eye on this.
Instantly getting punished. Face check, instantly dead. The menace range has done enough in allowing for Kyrie to find multiple kills here on top of the fact that Sans has stolen the Decimate to chain 2 together. Good response.
Sniper.
CW tries. Sans flickers forced to get the double kill. In short, that's going to be a 3-for-1 trade.
Wow, a swift play here. You're speaking of like everything's being calm. Everything's being calm around the map, but Team Onic are just there for blood. They are just there for chaos. On the top lane side, they managed with a flicker and a bloody hunt to take Kaja out, and not just that, they continued by having almost, it was 3 kills on the top side. CW after taking that gold of the turret. Oh my god.
Flickers and then into the Divine Judgment. Hard guard to try and make it happen, but no, Kyrie has too much damage. And without CW in the back, gets a double, no problem. What an dude, that was almost a nasty play with Sans stealing the hard guard. Very creative, good reaction time, but they trade support for mid laner.
And this is the scary thing I was talking about, right? Just in a few minutes, the gold lead now 2.5k ahead, and you know, going back to history here, Onic is going to play around this really well. So now see you soon, being down this a little bit, they're going to be a little more passive in how they approach some of these. But with the lineup alone, when you look at Angel, when you look at the Franco, you're kind of playing off the fact that, all right, we got to land these Iron Hooks, man.
Yeah.
Right? He goes in with the final slash, trying to, you know, make some miracle happen. Not going to happen here. But still, you're finding yourself wondering for see you soon. How do we do this? How do we turn some of these around? I actually like the initiation from Boxy earlier, trying to go in with a flicker, get the bloody hunt off, but unfortunately, Onic was there on time, and that's something that's kind of hard to counterplay, right? Obviously, Onic they've been through this, they know how to respond to some of these rotations here, and also the lineup that Siasoon has on how to counter it. So really, you know, you're wondering, Siasoon, where's our damage, right? It has to be on Kosei, but he's actually struggling right now, even looking at the gold breakdown between the 2 gold laners.
Yeah, I would say that, that was a really good hook, but are they committing to it?
Yes, they're looking for the Bandit's Rage as well. Boxy goes down straight away with a stolen Decimate coming in from Sans. They got to be so very careful here. Unfortunately for Boxy the King, he wasn't even able to get his ult off at all. Sans, he's got to show that disrespect, right? He's got to keep Siusun in their place.
Yeah, Sans just doing his thing there.
Oh, the damage just almost, it was almost there, but the left tap's keeping them alive. Now the top side is going to get pushed. MP the King, he wants his hard guard being activated. Keyboy preemptively flickering. Oh my god, Felix flickering forward to make it happen with a final slash, but the counter engage coming in from Boots to turn this around. They don't find anybody. Felix giving up his life, even though it was such a good time for a play.
Oh
How
my
did
god.
Keyboy not die?
Oh, they're still going.
Kyrie, he's gonna find the kill all towards Raw side. Boxing the King's running, but Kusei,
Kyrie.
he's got it. Crossbow 10 activated. Bloody Hunt being dropped, but it's too late. Can't be done. Nothing can be done here any longer. I mean, Sans is trying his absolute best, and even for Boxy the King, he's got to be in the right position, right place at the right time. But Onic, they're not giving them any space.
The Sky Kings being banished from the sky because they managed to activate this crossbow of Tang, but before that, Team Onic, this is when experience speaks. They can scale that goal. They can also go for really good trades. And even though there was a flicker final slash from Soraya and Felix, Team Onic are the ones who won the team fight.
Yep, and they also take the turtle with no issues whatsoever, right? They are reading See You Soon. For some reason, they've got insane game sense.
Oh, there it is.
Iron Hook into Bloody Hunt straight away. Good guy Boots is going to have to take it. Whoa, penalty zone. The crossbow tank is out. This is actually a lot of ultimates committed on one guy as Onic is looking for an opportunity. Keyboy getting locked. No, Iron Hook lands on the Sans. He's forced to flicker on out of there. Hard guard as well being expanded. Keyboy, despite having the Divine Judgment, it just was not enough with the amount of peel coming in from See You Soon. And now this is where it gets awkward too, as both sides having Keyboy ends up getting knocked up by MP. The King's Motor coils, and Kyrie can't get out of the fight. Decimate, and now the vengeance from the side of Soraya and Felix to pick up the kill. Two underneath the turret. Just a fishing bowl here underneath the turret. A barrel indeed. CW finally makes it out as Boots able to deal with this. He should be able to get this way, but it's too risky to stay under the tower any longer. They give up T1 down bot side.
There's See You Soon, right? They got some fight back in them, and that's what we need to see here for game 2. They've whittled the gold lead a little bit more. If they can continue to do that, fight Onic in these moments, and a lot. Again, going back to it, they need to land these iron hooks, turn the tides, get some of these initiations themselves, and so maybe they're feeling a little more confident now after that exchange in the bottom lane.
Well, I love how Keyboy left Boots as a sacrificial lamb there, to be honest. Because when he saw that the crossbow of Tang was inevitable, that Kosei would trigger it, he just left them, and he went with the concealed play to go inside. Oh, what a nice hook.
Great game sense coming out from Boxy the King, as once again they lock down a Boots. He's going to be able to flicker on out of there, but do they initiate on this penalty zone into 4? And once the crossbow tank is activated, Keyboy once again ditches him once more. Big ultimates down, Lord coming up at 2.
Okay, the fact that Boots is not here for this Lord now, See You Soon can actually start this up. They just have to win the retry battle if they actually commit to it. Kyrie also going to be making his way, but right now, See You Soon doesn't want to risk it. They might just continue to farm up a little bit more. It isn't a huge, massive gold gap anymore with it, but still, Boots is now back up. They decide to go ahead and pull up the Lord.
Well, speaking of positioning here, I think that Boots can flip everything around with a counter engage coming from the penalty zone. He will actually, I believe, take Boxy the King, and I would think that they will bait Boxy the King to hook one of their own and then counter engage with Boots.
Well, here we go. Final slash is already out as the and Kyrie still gets it. Penetrates into the Divine Judgment, but once again finding the kill onto MP the King, and Kusei runs, but CW says no more. Bandit's rage, and now Nibiru's passion. The man is just an empath as he start walking underneath their turrets. Tier 2s under threat with the Lord walking behind their backs.
Oh my god, Kyrie, what a perfect position, what a perfect timing. He just went in from down there, taking that Lord, and with that Lord, it's just a level 1 Lord, but yet it increases the gap of the gold once again.
Okay, once again, Lord now making its way down the mid. See You Soon should be able to relatively defend against this. They are going to lose these shields here, but you can see both on the bottom and the top, Onic making their moves. They want to get to knocking on the base of See You Soon. It is only that first Lord.
Oh, conceal.
Right now, still, things kind of settling into place. Onic has garnered themselves once again a big lead against See You Soon currently. So with that, See You Soon, what do they want to watch out for? The initiations from Keyboy. Yes, he doesn't have the flicker right now. Boots is going to have it here shortly, but right now it'll just kind of go back to a settled time. You're 2 minutes, nearly 2 minutes away from this Lord.
True. And unlike Onic, actually, if it comes to defense, Team Season cannot pull off a solid defense. Yes, you have the crossbow of Tang, but bear here with me. If you look at Team Onic, they have area crowd control. They also have the area clearance when it comes to CW. And not just that, Carrie can take someone in a blink of an eye. Team CSU need a lot of setting up until they get a kill, and also they need a lot of, I would say, sneaky moves with the Iron Hook to take someone out of the formation of Team Onic, which so far they haven't broken formation.
The Iron Hooks are always going to be a big game changer here, and I think at least for the side of See You Soon, right, we're hoping that the Final Slash is going to be able to kind of break them apart, especially if Keyboy finds the initial Divine Judgment, right? We've seen it 2 times already that both Keyboy as well as CW in combination with each other generally are able to secure 1 kill almost guaranteed. Oh,
Ouch.
hold on. Final Slash on towards Boots' side. Penalty zone only clips 1 so far. Crossbow Tang is activatable, and now the Bloody Hunt is going to get onto Keyboy as the Final Slash stolen away from Sands is enough. They dodge away on the Iron Hook. Very nice, good adjustment for the side of Onic.
So they got the Hard Guard out, they got the Bloody Hunt, the Final Slash from See You Soon. It's still 30 seconds away from the Lord here, so most of those should be back up, and they'll be ready to fight for it. But still, you know, with that, you see both teams still kind of pushing and pulling against each other, even at this point in the game. Yes, it's only 12 minutes in, but with the lead that Onic has, CSU has to approach these fights in a very careful manner, right? They need to be able to pull something off, and right now it just hasn't happened. Whether that's going to be the hook as they approach this Lord, or it's going to be Felix finding his own setup. You already saw earlier, too, how fast Kyrie alone can take someone down, right? This Nolan is strong. It is deadly right now. And that's not even the rest of the team, right? That's just Kyrie alone. So is it possibly better here that CSU just gives this up?
For me, this is just the Assassin's Master Kyrie kind of thing. He can go in and hit you with this reflexes, but looking at the Blade of Hypnosis that just came through for CW and knowing that he's holding his shotgun, I might just see one of those M3 moments.
Iron Hook and into the penalty zone to actually try and get the early cancel out. Sounds managing with the Winter trying to get back out of there. They find the kill to Sorry Phoenix, and now the Divine Judgment instantly a double for CW, finding another combination. It's going to be Kusei who's going to try to make something happen with the help of the Hard Guard. Nah, he's not going to take it. He doesn't want to take it to the skies just yet. It's just too much to handle, especially when he's 3 levels down on some of the members of Onic. With the Lord pushing, this could be it as it cracks open the first inhibitor in through that mid lane. Second one collapsing from that bottom side. This is an endgame scenario, and Onic are just dancing around them, waiting for the opportunity to present itself. Next wave has spawned, and finally they back away.
Okay, they're going to clear it out here. They hold on a little bit longer, but see us soon. They are going to have nearly a fully exposed base here.
Yeah, having the Enhanced Lord also being outnumbered was kind of... And imagine me, as LaFell said, imagine me. Let's say that Onic goes in, they would have just finished it, but they want to take it a safer route.
Here we go. Once again, the Final Slash penalty zone, and landing onto the 4 members in towards that back line. He's getting peeled off in Final Slash as well. Crossbow Tang is already out with a hard guard from Kusei. They back up. I'm sorry, I'm Felix. Jumps in on towards Sandside, flickering for his life. Vengeance as well, but CW peels them off time and time again. Renaissance must not be disrespected.
Oh, even with that, again, the base fully exposed. It looks very similar to the previous game, almost 11,000 down here for See You Soon. But if things fall into place somehow, some way, they might be able to crawl back into this game.
I really loved when Kyrie just dodged that Iron Hook. He did land an Iron Hook upon him, but he managed to find his way out and find his way through. 12.5k for the Beatrix, having almost 3k ahead. And when it comes to farm, 2 items down, 2 items behind for the 1-1. Yet, Kusei is dealing a really good amount of damage. He can take someone out, but the problem is for Kusei is whenever he finds a crossbow of Tang opening, he only finds it on the front laners who are so tanky, and that indicates to Boots, or I wouldn't say Keyboy, because when Keyboy sees Kusei, he's down for sure. But Boots is the only person that can be triggered upon the crossbow of Tang.
This is one of the few, well, traditional EXP lane experiences, right? This is what I'm used to. Boots is kind of left on his own. Yeah. He gets attacked all the time, and he's just like, good guy, Boots, of course. You just got to take it. And he says, yes, yes, daddy, please.
Take it like a good boy.
He's got the body of Smith for a reason, right?
Yeah.
That's the Riz for you. So, you know, right now, that's kind of what he's got to do. He's got to just be the target for them. But, you know, with this kind of lead, it's very similar. Like I always say, when you have a gap this far behind, it's increasingly difficult for Siu soon to find favorable, you know, wins in some of these team fights and whatnot. But still, if there's an overstep from Onic, they might be able to find it. If you land the hook on the right target that is, you know, given the situation, that could turn the tide of these fights. But, you know, really, who do you find? If Boxy is checking these things for himself, trying to find the right target, and if you don't land it, then you're down that iron hook, and all you have is the Flicker and Bloody Hunt combination. So you can see this. It's very difficult for them to even get range of this Lord. It's better they just give it up and get ready for a defense in the base.
Yeah. Even though there was no vision whatsoever on Boxy the King and Team Siusun on that top side, yet Siusun went back. I believe that at some point he could have took Kairi out and went for an engage, even though they are behind in gold, but yet they had the opportunity, they had the window. Will they regret it? This is the question, or that's the question for the upcoming seconds. The Enhanced Lord, second Enhanced Lord is marching from the mid lane, and Team Siusun are not looking good.
Yep, this is going to be a difficult high ground defense with their type of draft, right? It's Heal being played. Keyboy's looking for an opportunity, finds the R-Line, and instantly getting chunked down to 50%. Final slash being sold by Solid, but now with the penalty zone, they're trying to look for an opportunity. Boxy flickers forward to get onto CW, allowing Felix to make a play. Kyrie, he's low. He's got to get out of there. He's got the immortality, but it's just not worth it. Sorry, I'm Felix finding the vengeance, and at the end of the day, Kusei was able to free him with the help of the Heart Guard. They're going to make a second attempt here. Sans trying his best. Wasn't able to get the Terrified just yet, but Kyrie, he's a little low. He doesn't want to commit all the way, especially losing all his buffs. Iron Hawk! Last connect, Keyboy. Force the flicker out there, and now it's going to be his immortality gone. CW can only watch. Sans can only hover around, and the defense coming out from the side of Siusun is clean. They make it for another minute or so for the next Lord to spawn.
Gotta give it up for Siusun, staying in the game 18 minutes in, despite the gap they have. They find something, they find a win in this. And this could be the start of something, turning this in favor of them. Again, as we get further in the game, these death timers are going to be a concern.
Well, I believe there was a miscommunication from the side of Team Onic. Boots, even though he landed his ult, the penalty zone was upon 4, if not 5, of the members of Team Siusun. Even though that happened, there was no follow-up. That suits such a really good engagement.
Felix.
Here we go. Penalty zone is on all of them. Sorry, I'm Felix already using the final slash, and Sans going to help ensure it with his final slash of his own. Oh, the Terrified MP the King. He's getting chunked out. Bloody Hunt already be committed on to good guy Boots, and he can only take so much damage as Keyboy decides to show up. Looking for an opportunity to get out to Kusei. Doesn't get the Divine Judgment. Instead gets pulled back by the Underhawk. Kusei goes into the skies. Crossbow of Tang. Winter trying to try his best, but now he uses his own Wind of Nature. Kyrie comes back into the fight to finish it up. Clean fight. 3 for 3 down. Kyrie looking for anybody. Flickers forward. Sans wants it. Decimate. Oh no! It hits the wrong guy. Kyrie doesn't have enough energy to chunk down Boxy the King. Sans, he's going to hold on to that Decimate for just a little longer.
They have enough time here. Still, Felix going to be up in just a second. Onic, they might just make their way for the resources in the Lord.
They're going to make their way over there, but not after the purple buff as assassin junglers, such as Nolan would like to say himself. But this is dangerous, right? You can see that finally Siusun have scaled to a point where it's a pretty even fight as long as they minimize the overall damage from Keyboy.
Yeah, this is one of the games so far that had so many kills, so many team fights, but look at Boxy the King.
Oh, once again, nicely played coming in from Felix as well as Boxy the King. They're trying to save Sans. He loses his Winter Truncheon and Immortality. He's out of there. And now they're going to be able to secure this Lord, but unfortunately, Keyboy gets joinked backwards. Not enough damage to commit to this as they have to stick around their base and clear up these waves.
Suffocating by the amount of minions coming in through the base. Team Siusun cannot commit to that Lord, cannot go and engage, even though they have the suppression hero, even though they have Kusei with the hard guard upon him. Even with all that said, Team Onic are now in control. The Sky Kings are looking for a hunt.
Man, time and time again so far for this game, Siusun has somehow defended despite being so far behind. Are they able to do it again here? They have to make quick work of this Lord.
20-minute Lord here. It's tough. Boxing the King going to be looking forward, getting on top of Nolan straight away. Final slash coming in from the side.
Ooh,
It's Kusei goes into the air with the crossbow tag, finds one, is able to bring Kyrie's immortality, but the base is getting chunked down. The body's distracted. He attacks it, and it's GG. Well played as the crystal cracks under the Onic pressure.
And the Sky Kings will sweep the series decisively there and securing, again, a top seed going into the knockout stage.
Buying some time, that's all what it took for Kyrie having the immortality switch fast, as Kyrie always have shown us that switch between the immortality and the freeze. He managed to keep Kosei's hand busy until the base itself suffocated because of the minions.
Obviously, look at that. The sportsmanship
Love to
through
see it.
a different level, because again, respect is given when you are at the world stage. It's not like CU play bad. It's the fact that they are mechanically talented. They are so gifted at the game.
So good. It's such a great series here. Yes, it was a sweep, but let's throw it over to the stage to hear from our victors. Manjin, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Onic! Dominating their group. They are now top 1 up against See You Soon. Guys, congratulations. First of all, Kyrie, what can you say about your performance and how important is this victory for you guys? Who has the mic? All right. Okay. How important is this victory for you guys?
Very important because we're #1 at our bracket and we're gonna face the #2 at other bracket.
Okay. All right, you're gonna wait. All right, Kyrie, there was an important moment in that game where you stole the Lord with that retribution, and then you made a comeback. You turned it around. What was going through your mind when you stole that Lord?
I can't really remember.
You can't remember. You watch the replay, you will remember. Okay, all right. Let me talk to some other guys. Sans. Okay, Sans. All right. Sans. Okay. Based on the games that you've seen, based of all of the games that you've seen, all right. Okay, which team has impressed you so far?
Belum ada sih, belum ada. Soalnya masih menang terus.
Okay, can anyone translate? Kyrie, you translate. Translate mo daw.
Enggak ngati.
I think San said there is no team impressed him.
No team that impressed him. Okay. Sans 2023. All right, Sans 2023. No team. All right. Now that you guys are advancing in the knockout stage, all right. Since there's no team that you are impressed with, but who is the team that you're looking forward to face? How about Keyboy?
Sorry?
Keyboy, who is the team that you want to face in the knockout stage? Yes.
I think, of course, Bren.
AP Bren. Okay. AP Bren, all right. I won't take this any longer. I know that you want to rest. Congratulations for being at the top of your group. Kyrie, do you have any message to your fans? It's fine. You can speak in Indonesian. You can speak in Tagalog. It's up to you.
I think
Okay.
Boots want to say something.
Okay, Boots. Okay, Boots. There you go. Message to your fans.
Thank you for Sonic, who always supporting us. I hope we can give our best in this M series. Thank you.
All right. That's all. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, give it up for Onic! You can now go to your rooms. Congratulations once again. All right. Onic is still at top. Let's now pass it back to our shoutcasters to wrap this up.
Thank you so much, Manjin, and of course, congratulations once again to Onic there. What a performance they've had through the group stage, and now they've garnered themselves that top spot going into the knockout stages, of course. And we heard there who exactly they do want to eventually play against, and we'll be watching them later after this series, actually. AP Bren later on versus Team Flash. So real quick, any thoughts on that series? How did it feel here, Gideon?
Well, personally for me, I think this was a great series to see a litmus test for specifically CU Soon, right? They had enough of the mechanical skill to make this a challenge for Onic for game number 2.
Well, speaking of challenges, let's see who was the MVP of the game. Once again, it's Sans clearing up the sky, and as expected from the Sky Kings themselves, they aim for the skies, they want AB Bren. Sans here looking at the statistics, KDA with 808 and also having kill participation 81. In the previous game was 81, this one is 80%. And I would say that he's once again aiming for that magical penetration that he applies, even though right now we all know that if Novaria, not Novaria, I'm just mistaken between the previous game and this one. But anyways, let's get back to the highlights here. Sans, and this moment actually what made Onic kind of, I would say, in the lead, in the driver's seat since minute 1. They were able, with Sans here, knowing that the missed sniper shot from CW was committed by, oh my god. Like, yeah. if we speak about every shot that we get, if we speak about every highlight that we get, we will not get enough. We will not stop talking, because this game was full of team fights. Onic team here at this moment, they managed to reverse that and counter that engage with the Terizla ultimate with the penalty zone, and here was the first time CU Soon were able to get at least, I would say, almost a Lord, even though Kyrie was there, coming from the back lines, taking the Lord down, and Onic once again coming back on top.
Yeah, there would be some moments here, again, as we look at these highlights, is, you know, especially the fact that you have a hard guard, you have Kosei with the way the crossbow of Tang. He was able to find some moments, and it actually looked like if maybe they had withstanded one more march into the base, they could have turned things around, because even moments like this, right, you're thinking that they can pull it off, but again, the response, the synergy, even the juggling of items later on here really played its part for Onic, right? And unfortunately, for CU Soon, they weren't able to capitalize on this moment here where they turn things around, but then again, Kyrie and Sans, with their positioning, they were able to close things out through this. And with this moment as well, it was great, but again, the base, it was being focused on until eventually the win goes to Onic here.
I really do admire how Kosei executed that 1-1, because he was playing, he was having this footwork up there in the top lane, and also with the hard guard upon him, it gave him so much courage to engage and also disengage and re-engage, which is something that I really admire about the 1-1 players. And at some point, we have seen that Keyboy was trying with the concealed flicker ult to drag him down, but he knew that this was coming, and he didn't just knew, he took advantage of that, and this was the one time that he was able to trigger his crossbow of Tang upon the Kaja, and then all the disasters were happening for Team Onic. But let's go here and look at the statistics and look at the board. We will see that at some point, again, CW gives away his boots to go with full damage and with full damage only. And by just saying that, looking at the purple buff and the orange buff, the team CU Soon were prevented from taking any buffs after the early game stage, 17-5 in terms of purple and 15-5. And of course, we have right now 4 different players taking everything, but yet they are all from Team Onic. Kyrie with the gold per minute, as you said earlier on, Naisu, they know how to farm up because, and I pointed because of the experience. The carry was Sans once again having the most damage dealt, the sandbag Boots, and Boots was taking a lot of hits, but yet, which is the person that I wouldn't actually expect to see at the Forgotten One, CW, with the most assists, even though he was dealing a lot of damage, if not the most damage in his team.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that you say that, because it's weird to say he was the Forgotten One, right? But ultimately, he just had in a way, a gold lane experience. He was able to just pull things off. He provided a lot of damage, but a lot of the cleanup, right? The kills capitalized there was either from Sans, Kyrie, and the rest falling into place for them. So, you know, when you look at even that scoreboard earlier, you see how dominant the Nolan can be. in a given in a certain player's hands like this, how they just eat up your entire resources in jungle.
Yeah, I mean, he not only just eat up your resources in jungle, the fact that he's, out farming people like CW, who's known to just be like, oh yeah, I have that gold lane experience as well, especially since the majority of the kills that he got were in combination with Keyboy, who are handing it to him on a silver platter. So it's crazy to imagine that he's still power farming in this particular manner.
Well, again, a great series there, and congratulations to Onic. Now, we have one more series ahead of us, but real quick before we sign off for this series, we want to go ahead and thank our sponsors. M5 is powered by Moonton, presented by Kadia, our global presenting partner, supported by ROG, our official gaming phone, Grab, our super app partner, and of course, Secret Lab, our official chair partner. Now, up next, for the final match of the day between the hometown heroes, the current Filipino champions, AP Bren, and also the champion of MPL Singapore team, Flash. You don't want to miss out on that, guys. It is going to be a great match to round out the day. I'm Naisu, this is Gideon and Yasu, and we'll be back after this.
#1 seed, the champion of the arena. fans adore me because I've never lost. You are afraid. Afraid that you will lose everything. Do you ever get scared of losing, Kimmy?
Well, big bro, I think we should cherish the joy and excitement of each game. Not who won or lost.
That's right. I'll strive for victory, but I won't lose myself in its pursuit. World Championship. I'm back.
We are here at Gamers 8 to show that we are walking the walk. We have had amazing reactions, major idea owners, and a lot of potential partners and stakeholders coming in here and taking a peek. The biggest cube over here has been the nexus of this zone.
What I saw from the outside is very mysterious. You want to know what's happening inside.
Felt like, you know, this is an MMORPG, but R is not role-playing, it's real world.
Brandon, alam ko masalimuot ngayon ang buhay mo. Kung kailan ka nabigyan ng break as a head coach sa pro scene ng Mobile Legends, doon ka pa nagkaroon ng malubhang sakit. Iindahin mo ng 1 buwan. Itatago mo kasi akala mo, ngalay lang naman. Hanggang sa isang gabi, hindi ka na makatayo. Hindi ka na makalakad. Wala nang choice kundi dalhin ka sa ospital kasi grabe na yung sakit na iniinda mo. Magsisimula ang season na wala ka sa tabi ng team mo. Sobrang lungkot at depresyon ang dadanasin mo dahil sa sakit at kawalan ng pakiramdam sa kalahati ng iyong katawan. Munti ka nang sumuko sa buhay. Buti na lang at may mga nurse, mga doktor, mga physical therapists at mga kaibigan na nagpatibay ng loob mo. Huwag mo silang kalimutang pasalamatan. Akala mo okay na ang lahat, kaso luluba palalo ang sakit mo. Mapupunta ka sa bingit ng kamatayan, halos hindi ka na makahinga. Doon, mapapadasal ka sa Diyos na huwag ka na munang kunin dahil hindi pa tapos ang mission mo. Hindi pa tapos ang pangarap mo. Sabi mo nga, magja-champion ka pa. Maniwala ka na gagaling ka. Kumapit ka. Sa pagkakataon na yon, madudugtungan ang iyong buhay. Binigyan ka ng isa pang chance sa mundo para tuparin ang pangarap mo. Kung akala mo wala nang kukuha sa iyong ML team dahil sa kalagayan mo, nagkakamali ka. May magtitiwala pa rin. Kukunin ka as coach ng isang team abroad. Igagrab mo yung opportunity kahit pa naka-wheelchair ka kasi gusto mo yung ginagawa mo. Magiging mahirap pero okay lang. Ang importante, sumubo ka at wala kang regrets. Unti-unti na rin mag-i-improve ang kalagayan mo. Sabi ng mga doktor, kailangan mong ma-operahan pero wala ka pa namang pera noon kaya naniwala ka na lang nagagaling ka. Sa tiyaga at paniniwala, makakatayo ka rin. Darating ang punto na makakalakad ka na ulit. Himala, di ba? May isa pang biyaya na darating. Lalapitan ka na isang kaibigan, si Coach Daki, para maging tactician ng AP Brand. May chance ka ulit na ituloy ang pangarap. Huwag mo itong sayangin. Ikaw ang susi na magbubukas ng bagong pintuan para sa iyong team. Makakapagsibol kayo at dito magsisimula ang sunod-sunod niyong pagkapanalo sa iba't ibang tournament, kabilang ang MPL Philippines Season 12. Kung dati ay literal na hindi ka makalakad, ngayon lakad matatag ka nang ire-representa ang Pilipinas sa M5 World Championships.
David, nakakatuwa manood ng MPL, no? Nakikita mo yung mga idol mo. Yung iba dyan, magiging kakampi mo. Maglaro ka lang na maglaro, tapos magpataas ka ng rank at stars. Sa sobrang loko mo, darating pa nga yung 24 hours na nag-live ka ng ML para magpapansin. Dahil sa kasipagan mong yun, may chance ka pang nakasali ka sa Bren. Sobrang saya ng magiging run mo kasi magcha-champion ka na sa MPL tapos makakasali ka pa sa M2 World Championship. Nakaka-pressure pa yan kasi rookie ka pa lang tapos mag-worlds ka na. Buti na lang, umayon yung resulta sa atin. Magiging champion ka ng M2. Oo, masaya siya. Kaso warning lang ha, yung mga susunod na mangyayari dito magiging mahirap at masakit para sa'yo. Ganun talaga yung buhay eh. Hindi laging masaya. Minsan, kapag nasa tuktok ka at hindi mo alam kung paano harapin ang tagumpay, sasagadsad ka pababa, tatamarin ka, makikinig sa maling sinasabi ng iba. At ang uli, magmamahal ka ng taong lolokohin ka lang pala. Sa mga panahong yun, mapatingin ka na lang sa salamin at parang hindi mo nakilala yung sarili mo. Magiging madilim yung mga susunod na kabanata ng buhay mo. Pero David, dito ka matututo. Oh, baka gusto mo laktawan tong part na to, ha? Hindi pwede, kasi mahalagang pagdaanan mo to. Okay lang matakot, gawin mo pa rin. Magta-top 8 kayo sa MPL, talo, laglag. Hindi lang isa, 2 beses pa. Dahil dito, mapaisip ka kung kaya mo pa ba, kung para sa'yo pa ba yung ML. Ngayon ka dapat hindi tumigil. Kailangan mong ituloy at patunayan sa sarili mo na kaya mo. Kahit sa mga oras na wala ka ng ganang gumalaw. Kung magagawa mo to, magkakaroon ka ng disiplina. Gagawin mo siya dahil pinangako mo sa sarili mo na panahon na para magising at magbago. Kapag naayos mo na yung sarili mo, magiging maayos na teammate ka na sa mga kasama mo. Kung yung dati nga, sarili mo lang iniisip mo. Ngayon, mas masaya ka na kapag masaya yung teammates mo, di ba? Dahilan ito para mag-champion kayo sa iba't ibang tournaments, pati na rin sa MPL Season 12. Matutupad rin yung pangarap mo para sa team na makapag-M5. Ngayon, sa pagkakataong ito, mas gagalingan mo pa kasi gusto mong maranasan nila ang feeling na naranasan mo noon.
We're better than great. We're better than great. We're better than great. Nanditong mga bida, the kings and queen of MOBA, kasamang kabugera at 7,000 isla. Nagsisimula pa lang tayo. Look at your face, so kabado. Dito sa aming teritoryo, can't get this ground sa amin ito. Ang laban na to ang magiging binhi. Di na papayag masakop muli. Lahat ng daraanan namin ay mahawi. Alab ng puso'y di mapapawi. Sanay sa ating maandugong palaban. Babangon, babawi kahit sugatan. Sinag ng araw, 3 bituin. Pilipinong may giting nagniningi. Sanay sa ating maandugong palaban. Babangon, babawi kahit sugatan. Sinag ng araw, 3 bituin. Pilipinong may giting nagniningi.
Dami mo daw sinasabi pero ba't na yun di ka mapakali? Panay lang ang kamot sa anit at kahit alam mo na di naman tumakate. Dugo pati laway at pawis tumulo, akala mo ba lahat tumadali? Hindi nagmamadali, akyatin ng hagdan na talagang matare. Ganyan talaga ang mga batang Pinas, talagang malakas kahit anong meta, wala kang ligtas. Talagang matigas na parang daliri ng mga kalaban. Sa gitna ng laban, shooters namin talagang savage. Di papaawa sa aming lupang sinilangan. Ang dami ng binilangan, ng 1, 2, 3, handa na ba kayo? Ito na pang-apat. Kaya dami na naman iyakin kahit dadaanin pa sa mga tipi-tipi-tipikal. Paano kami hahabulin? Marami tong gasolina, lalamunin ang lahat ng dipidal.
Sanay sa ating maandugong palaban. Babangon, babawi kahit sugatan. Sinag ng araw, 3 bituin. Pilipinong may giting nagniningi. Sanay sa ating maandugong palaban. Babangon, babawi kahit sugatan. Sinag ng araw, 3 bituin. Pilipinong may giting nagniningi. Ang maong away ang sinugdanan. Di mo sugot madakpan pagbalik. Tanang agian kay diretso mapalit. Ang init sa dughan kay dili mawakli. Sanay sa ating maandugong palaban. Babangon, babawi kahit sugatan. Sinag ng araw, 3 bituin. Pilipinong may giting nagniningi. Sanay sa ating maandugong palaban. Babangon, babawi kahit sugatan. Sinag ng araw, 3 bituin. Pilipinong may giting nagniningi.
The Shadow Dragon was once my biggest weakness, but now it's my most potent weapon. Cosmic Dragon, rise and soar! Dragon Stomp! Dragon Scales! Dragon Rush! Rise beyond greatness and see destiny.
Tonight, we celebrate MLBB Esport. Do the kaldak! Do the kaldak! This is the Suman Challenge. Go! Just it.
Welcome to M5 Gala! Guess the Hero Challenge!
Lapu-lapu, Iritel, Franco, Nana.
Nana!
Go! Best dressed team!
Onic!
Best dressed Super Marco!
Thank you so much for joining us at the M5 Gala, and we'll see you at the M5 World Championship.
Have you ever wondered what is our identity?
Our identity isn't limited to just esport players.
Our style.
Sweat.
Our passion.
And vibe.
Feel our energy.
When we dominate the stage,
The hours of sacrifice.
shape who we are. So, what is our identity?
We are legendary.
In the history of M Series, no host country has ever won the championship title. No other region has ever claimed the throne. No team has ever secured the championship twice. In this thrilling showdown, 16 teams across the world have gathered once more to seize the trophy. Which teams will prove themselves in their epic rivalry rematch? Will a new region unveil their strength and climb to the top? And who will leave an unforgettable mark with their skills? Behold, the old guards, seasoned titans returning to reclaim glory.
Algalan.
Hit me like I might get over, but you can give me in no corner. I know I can make a comeback, ace this round and finish this game now. Got the power on my shoulders, yeah, you know that I'm a soldier. You can keep me off my guard, but you can't keep me from my honor. I feel like the floor is lava, the energy's getting higher. You're saving my arm, 'cause I know just what I got. I got you like a na-na-na, and you know I hold the power. This feeling I love, oh yeah. Making my grind good to great, so don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. We are burning, nothing gon' change. Great, we are better than great. Can't get it great, I'm better than great. I play my own role, I be kinda greatest. Transcend myself into this game, yeah. I build a power to dominate fate. Championship mind on top of the week. We start to the game, shine, reveal. Better than great, that's how we feel. I feel like the floor is lava, the energy's getting higher. You're saving my arm, 'cause I know just what I got. I got you like a na-na-na, and you know I
A batch of talented young guns are about to face off the old guards of the scene. Welcome back, everybody, to the Mobile Legends Bang Bang M5 World Championship Group Stage. We're here for the last series. It's me, Naisu. I'm joined here alongside Mirko, Yasu, and we'll be your casters to bring you the final best of three between the Filipino champions, AP Bren, and Singapore's best team, Flash. Guys, how we feeling? Mirko?
Feeling great, especially after seeing Onic take the dub earlier, man. It's definitely given me a bit of more energy to cast for this final match.
Well, for me, I feel better than great.
Oh, he's got a one-up,
hey,
man.
I was going to say, that works too. But before that, of course, we have to thank our sponsors. The M5 World Championship is powered by Moonton, presented by Kadia, supported by ROG, the official gaming phone, Grab, the official super app partner, and of course, Secret Lab, our official chair partner. Thank you guys so much to our lovely sponsors. M5 would not be possible without your support. And Mirko, there's more out there for everybody else.
There's so much more content for you guys on TikTok, and you guys can find the best M5 content on TikTok. Just search hashtag MLBBM5, and also remember to use the hashtag to just also share your content, not just watch the content, because you guys can stand a chance to win a lot of crazy, amazing rewards.
And with that being said, we have to talk about now the matchup here, the last one to round out day number 5. We've seen so much already today alone. We know what's at stake here as teams are falling into place and also falling out, right? But right now it's the young gods versus the old guards. Now specifically, several M-Series rookies and veterans here are about to face off in this series. We'll celebrate their achievements, their contributions here to basically develop the whole MLBB esports scene leading up to today. And first and foremost, we have to talk about these two players, Kyle TZ versus Hades. Two Filipino junglers who are basically from two generations. It's basically Mirko and me, right? We're like at that point, so generation-wise. Now, Hades is one of the older junglers from the league who basically helped raise this mechanical standard for the league, while Kyle TZ, he may be argued as one of the players who met this standard. Yasu, how do you break this down for us?
I would say, as the title says here, a clash of generational junglers. Kyle TZ with those achievements, look at it. Champion, gold medal, and rookie of the season. On the other hand, he also dominates Singapore. Hades with one time as a champion, final MVP, and again, he have these mechanical heroes, as we said, Ling and Lancelot. And it's actually quite strange because I have known my whole life that AB Brand is one of those teams that when you see a Lancelot, remembering Carl, not seeing him in Kyle, I don't know, will he pull him today? That's the question.
We'll have to find out, right? But one thing that's funny is, even with these guys, is really the favorite heroes used. And I feel like that's just adapted, right, over these metas and everything else. But really, the staple there, obviously, Fredrin. You know, he was like literally the main staple for so long. But we went from this kind of phase where it was like utility over to assassins, and now you have a good mix of them, right, for the most part. So can't wait to see these guys clash it out. Now, next up, the clash of generational roamers. Mirko, Ogwin versus Lalzi. How's this looking?
Well, firstly, we got to take a look at Ogwin, right? The achievement speaks for itself. I think he was part of the same roster with Kyle TZ for the entire year. Heck, even last year, they were just absolutely phenomenal. But for Lolzy, he is a veteran in his own right. Unfortunately, though, we did see a little bit of, I would say, just a tough road for Team Flash in Season 6 particularly. It wasn't the smoothest of roads to claim that championship title, but that veterancy, that experience, not just for Lolzy, but the entire team definitely showed. With quite similar heroes, right? I mean, mainly the Kufra there, but it's also just the pick-off-centric, the big playmaking heroes that they like to go for. Though I do want to, pull it back a bit to Hades again and Kyle TZ. Looking at both their heroes, a little bit different. Kyle TZ, we've seen him on Assassins before, but it seems like now he's maturing, going towards the utility junglers, not so much of that flashy assassin. And I think it comes down to how the team likes to play. Hades, he needs to get his hands on that snowball. He needs to be the one to actually look for the initiative in a lot of the games for Team Flash, and that's why we're seeing him in a whole lot of assassins, maneuverability, and carry potential. Meanwhile, Kyle, he can do that, but he can also just play for the team. He has phenomenal players in Super Marco and Flap TZ. Heck, even Few. Few's been in the game for so long, but he's still an OG, but also an OG carry.
Yeah, and speaking of that, as we look at both these, lineups here, these players that, have the old guards, if you will, and where they are now, one thing that's fun, I don't know if this is a fun fact or not, but Hades actually, he was contemplating quitting esports before joining Team Flash. And on the other side, Ogwin, as we compare over there with Lalzi, Ogwin, this was like a last-minute recruitment for AP Bren, right?
Yeah.
Basically, back in Season 10, he was recommended by his cousin Pando. So, Pandora, right? Pando.
Wow.
So, interesting. But, again, as we get ready for this matchup, we have to welcome our marshals here to officiate the M5 World Championship. We have our marshals doing an amazing job. They're here to ensure the fairness and integrity of the game. Rain, Wilbert, Shun, and Ivan. And as the teams also get prepped up, ready for this last series ahead of us, this is where it all falls into place. The Filipino champions, they grace the stage to continue their campaign towards being better than great. Let me hear you buzz for AP Bren.
Another team who has been consistent all year long. 2 gold medals and 1 more. They're looking for the M title again.
And across from them, surprising by the Mongolian downloaders, the Singaporean delegates look to bounce back and strengthen their chances for the knockout stage. Don't blink or you'll miss them. It's Team Flash.
With their final game in this group, will they finish strong?
We're going to find out if they can finish strong here, and to guide the teams to victory, of course, the minds here behind it all, the coaches and the analysts. For AP Bren, it's Coach Ducky and Coach Vren. And of course, for Team Flash, we've got Coach Reminiscent and KZP. Now, as they fist bump it out, they get ready, they get prepped up. I would say here, a lot of people's expectations for Team Flash has probably developed over the course of this group stage, and those for AP Bren have been set in stone. Real quick, too, let's go ahead and look at the lineup for AP Bren. We've got Super Marco, Kyle Teasy, Flap Teasy, Few, and Ogwin. Just a solid lineup here for us, Yasu.
Yeah, I would say that AP Bren have a motivation that only one more team in this tournament shares, and that's the 2 times M Series Championship. They got 1 title, they are now after another.
Okay, and as that, again, the expectation's already going to be there. Across from them, we'll be taking a look just in a second for Team Flash. Just to get familiar, we got Vanix, Hades, Adamir, Jay, Lulzy. We talked about this matchup, especially Ogwin versus Lulzy. Mirko, how are we feeling about the lineup?
For a lot of the players that you see veterans, Hades, Adamir, and Lulzy. But for Jay and Vanix, though, you may not have seen them in the M Series before. They're veterans in their own right. They've been in MPLSG for a long time, and finally, they get the chance to show what they've gotten. A lot of people, including me myself, said that Team Flash getting here, it's a bit of luck. That one last hit from Bray could have changed everything. But hey, at this point, luck is a skill too, and Team Flash have definitely utilized that, have honed that luck to turn it to just absolute skill. They've shown us in the group stages that they're not a team that can be completely written off. Unfortunately, maybe in the town prediction, it's a bit of a...
Well,
it's contradicting.
Well, it sweeps across the board for us, right? But there's a reason why, Yasu. What's your reason?
Well, before my reason, I don't know how will Cheryl feel about that.
she's probably out there watching right now. Is this Yasu? You've been spending a lot of time with this quote-unquote curse casters on the desks for the group stage. Are you developing your own curse here prediction?
I actually don't remember if I cursed someone so far, but if Team Flash is the one to be cursed, I wish that I'm this time getting correct for them, because Team Flash, this is their last match today, this match in this group. So if they finish strong, as I said, they are now on a tie with Lil Gun. So if they manage to win this game, and ironically enough, actually the fate of this group, I'm not gonna say in the hands of Team AB Bren, but it's centered about Team AB Bren, because AB Bren is the one to decide. Today, he's gonna play against Flash. Tomorrow, he's gonna play against Lil Gun.
Yeah, great point, because again, for this matchup alone, as we wait for this draft to be upon us, this could make or break the chances for the knockouts for Team Flash. Look at the audience predictions as well from around the world.
Like when Singapore goes 90% towards AP Bren, that's painful, man.
Maybe misclick?
No way.
No, there's no misclicks there. They're just, that's that's the proof in the pudding, right? As we like to put it. So again, predictions are out. We only know exactly how this is going to play. But one thing that I will say for sure is Team Flash, they actually have surprised a lot of people, you know, up to this point. Even with Team Lil Gun, you know, they have their own expectations even for the wild card leading into this. But again, we all saw that series unfold, and who's to say they can't do the same thing against AP Bren?
Exactly. They can try to replicate what they did. Heck, at MPL Singapore.
Yeah.
Nobody, well, some people, but almost no one, right, predicted them to win MPL SG. The fact that they were able to come back in that kind of way, it feels like it's meant to be. It was written in the stone for them to make it to M5, and it'll just be anticlimactic if they don't show up in this matchup.
And I love that because for me, I would say they've shown up for the group stages, you know, at least up to this point.
Yeah.
And in a similar matter, it's like, okay, who's across from them? Yes, it's the Filipino champions, AP Bren. They have the, you know, all their own titles. But this is a great moment for Team Flash to actually come out swinging and maybe prove a point here. Maybe prove some doubters. You're again referencing the predictions. Prove some of the doubters here.
Yeah, speaking of titles, I would actually also point out Coach Ducky. Coach Ducky here, he also have a title with Team AB Bren, so he's also looking for another one. And I don't know if this information is correct or not, but is he the coach, the one coach with 2 titles as M-Series?
M-Series?
Yeah.
M-Series?
Well, technically, on paper, I'm not too sure if M1 counts. But M2 definitely,
M2
right?
definitely, yeah. Well, he's a Hall of Legends, so he's got that going for him. We're going to jump into the draft here, game number 1. We've got Team Flash on the blue, AP Bren on the red. We'll see how this all plays out. But similarly, look at the bans coming through. We've talked a lot today alone about the Phoveus. Fairness is being taken out. They don't want to deal with these long team fights. And also, on the other side, there's Juan and Bruno.
Okay, so Team Flash, they banned the Nolan themselves. I was about to say that they will take the Nolan, but we have seen earlier on today when Nolan was used and Phoveus was banned from team, if I'm not mistaken, was Onic. The other team, the opponent team, can you guys remember? Because I'm bad with memory.
See you soon?
Yeah, see you soon. See you soon, they got the best use out of it because they had a lot of mobility heroes. Speaking of Arlott, also speaking of 1-1. But in this game, I don't know where actually the draft is going because you banned the Phoveus, you didn't set up for a Nolan. What are you cooking, Flash?
I mean, I think one of those picks could be the 1-1. That's why they banned. Once AP Brent banned it out, they're just going to go straight for the Nolan. They're like, all right, they're on to us. We do not want to pick a Nolan here. It's a bit too one-dimensional. It's good for a carry jungler like Hades, but without the proper support, without the proper setup, he's not really that independent jungler that you would want to have on Hades.
Not only that, but, you know, looking at this, we're going to wait for the first pick here for Team Flash. Yasu, real quick, who do you think it's going to be? I know you like to play this little mini game yourself.
No, I'm not the one who's asking questions. Okay, the Guinevere, but I'm going to try for AB Brent though, right? I would say a Valentina can do the trick, and I don't know, I think that Kaja as well. All right, a Novaria, but I think it's too early for a Novaria and Arlott.
All right, this works. Again, you know, picks here. Novaria has been proven a point for the most part throughout the group stage.
Yeah.
The vision, the utility, and the poke potential is just, it's too tough to deal with for a lot of teams.
You saw Sans.
Yeah, we saw Sans, you know, get the MVP on that.
Twice.
But twice. And then you pair it up with an Arlott. And I will say, you know, for Arlott in general, the playmaking potential is out of this world for this hero. And, you know, you can only imagine so much how that can work. But I like the fact that Team Flash did first pick up the Guinevere. Now, are they able to actually utilize this pick? Because, yes, we saw it in the hands of Kyrie recently. Worked really well in the jungle, right? But also we've seen other teams kind of falter with it, even if they pick it up first here, Yasu.
All right, but as I said earlier on, we have seen Phoveus being banned by Team Onic, and Team Sisun got the advantage of it by using the mobility here. So far, I'm not seeing a lot of mobility from Team Flash that can that the players can be afraid from having the Phoveus. But having that said, should we be worried about Adamir's Khalid?
Looking at the way that Adamir has been playing, it's so weird because Adamir has role swapped so many times. He's played the gold lane back in Evo's SG, then he swapped over to the jungle, and now he's an XP laner, but he's kept that same flexible style even in the XP. He can be the carry for the team.
Yep.
Mostly he goes utility though. I mean, even when they won against RSG, SG, that crazy game that they came back from, that was on the Frederick.
You know what I love? I always say this about the XP lane as this last pick. It's going to be the Claude here for AP Brand. What I love about the XP lane, man, is the development of that lane alone and how much impact it has currently in the meta. And even if you discuss the versions of XP laners, right? You have that back lane focus-centric kind of heroes. Khalid can be one of them. We just saw this also from the last series work really well. Or even, you know, the pretty much the zoning potential. That's why the Terizla is so hot. Yuzhong was so, you know, so popular for a while. He's kind of fallen off a little bit in terms of priority for the XP lane, but I like the dynamic we have currently.
All right. From Team Flash right now, after having the Khalid, I would say that the question of is he gonna be, where's the XP lane? Yeah, you have the Khalid. But for Team AB Brain, it's not settled yet because you have an Arlet, and Arlet can go for the roaming duties. And with that being said, having an Arlet here actually helps with the penalty zone that you just mentioned. You mentioned like the Terizla earlier on, Naisu, and I think that having a penalty zone ultimate here for AB Brain can actually be a disaster for Team Flash. And seeing that also the Diggy is banned, I don't know why not just stack up crowd control. Maybe at Terizla I'm calling it out with you, and maybe also I would expect AB Brain to go for a Fredrin.
I'm even looking at the Minotaur right now, man. You know, if one of the teams want to go with that, again with their you got to ban it out. You got it, right? Because even the Diggy was banned out here, so they kind of want to narrow some of these options. And once again, referencing what we saw from the roamers alone, we know that both of them might even like to play, you know, the Kufra, for example. So really set up the potential could work either way. But, you know, I wouldn't leave it up to just, if AP Bren actually wanted to park an Arlot in the roam, we've actually, that's happened before. So who's to say it is for sure going to go in the XP lane right now?
Well, would you think with me right now that Team Flash or Team AB Brain should be afraid of Lolzy's Chu?
I think usually I would have to agree, but the fact that they already have a Claude and Arlet as well, some of these great heroes, to deny any sort of full lockdown, you know, going for the Purify and the Claude would already kind of force you to not go Cho, already deny the Cho way. So I think for Flash, it would actually be scary for Flash if Lolzy picked up the Cho. It's countered already.
Yeah. Well, there's the answer.
And now
as I mentioned, right, this is Rome, a hero that Oakland likes to go with. And it's funny, too, because you know the confidence of Oakland. I don't know if you guys caught the tier listing of roamers previously.
Yeah.
You know, so
he doesn't want to overrate himself.
He doesn't want to overrate himself. But you got to be honest, Ogwin is up there with some of the best right now currently. Interesting. Here's that Team Flash flavor.
I love it.
Look,
I love it.
At this moment, at this exact moment, no Purify is enough whatsoever, Super Marco.
Who was it backstage that said Tigreal and Lu Yi? There was someone at some point that said this. I don't know if it was, maybe it was Wolf LaFell, I don't know. But it was one of the analysts out there.
One of the dudes.
One of the guys.
One of the guys backstage. I just remember Mr. Mao.
Mr. Mao.
I had breakfast with him the day I landed. No, the day I landed in the Philippines with Zia and with Zia. And, with Zia as well. And Pika. But we were talking about this. They were like, yo, Luoyi can work. We're really waiting to maybe pull off a Luoyi, maybe? I don't know. But then we had a full conversation of like, why it won't work. And
why won't it work?
No. And now we're seeing it for Team Flash. So, hey.
So he's probably... Wherever
Mr. Mao is like, yo,
I'm happy.
I told you, Zia. That's what Mr. Mao is saying. I can guarantee you.
Dude, just think about it. No, I got to do it this way. Imagine. The 5-man implosion.
What does Brody does?
That too.
5-man implosion.
Into the Luoyi. I don't actually... I forgot what her skill is called, actually. I haven't seen her in forever, man.
It's been a while.
It's been a
hot while, man. You're right.
Okay, real quick, Yasu, take us through the lineups here, as you can see.
Okay, so I've called it out for Team AB Brain to stack up more crowd control, but it seems like Team Flash also got that note, having that Lu Yi for the first time we see it with us in the M5. Also, having Lolzy on that Tiger, I would say that every setup from Team Flash will be perfectly executed. There's no way out once the area crowd control starts from the side of Team Flash, which justifies the Diggy ban.
Well, we're going to find out here as we load up into the Land of Dawn. It's the Filipino champions versus the Singaporean champions as they head into game number 1 here in the last best of 3 for day number 5 in the M5 group stage. Both teams getting set up here in the rotation. We'll really have to see, Yasu, how everything you broke down there falls into place with these early setups, these early rotations, with this interesting, as I would say, lineup, especially from Team Flash.
Well, Ogwin for sure will be a pain for Team Flash because there's no mobility whatsoever that can move around there. Jay, in the early game damage, he can burst old baby Brain down, and not just that, the engage is happening after using the ult of the Liu Yi, repositioning, and look at Flap, he's just losing a lot of HP, and that's what we got used to see with Ademir and with Khalid being on the damage.
Chain CC, a knockup, and another. From the Tyrant and a solo kill down below. Ademir survives with 1 HP. So to answer your question, yeah, he's pretty lethal on the Khalid. He solo killed Flap.
Yeah, that was not what I was expecting, you know, under the 2-minute mark from Team Flash, but that is a great start to them. And the fact that you get the XP lane, where we were talking about this difference between the XP laners, how they kind of have this impact on the game. That's a great start in the hands of Ademir, and how he'll be able to actually be this impactful role early on into that first turtle.
Well, breaking down the draft even more, I cannot help but to wonder what will happen when we see the next turtle. What will happen in the objectives generally and the neutral objectives especially, because having that heavy spin, also having Hades on the Guinevere will make both these junglers immune when it comes to taking that retribution down. Let's see together what's going to happen. In the bot lane, everything now is settled because Ademir has drawn the line for Flap easy.
Okay, a lot of these waiting for that level 4 available. Turtle's now going to spawn. Positioning too. Hold on, mid lane, Lolzy should be fine, but he's going to be quite low. So he's probably got to go ahead, clear this up, get back. Might have to fight this out still for the turtle. Both teams kind of getting in position. It's probably going to go for a reset. You can see as well, Lolzy making his way back. But right now, AP Brand wants to kind of take their time here. Everybody pretty much has that level 4 except Ogwin, but he's going to jump in. Not sure if they want to follow up just yet. It is going to be Hades that he pushes back, though.
He wants to have...
That's final slash onto Hades. Spatial migration, Flap Teasy. Another sacrifice. Kyle should be able to secure it. Few is the one who does. Kyle Teasy, an uncharacteristic miss, but it was forced out of him by Hades.
Blinded by the colors, Flap Teasy goes down once again. Repositioning right now. Lolzy was missed in that team fight, and also not to mention that Hades was prevented from moving and using his mobility once Ogwin jumped on him.
I'm actually really curious how, you know, they're going to play around, because if you think about it, using the diversion from Liu Yi, if you can actually find the right placements for that and actually divert, then that can play a huge role in the later portions of the game, right? I mean, especially with the way that the bushes work here, and you won't necessarily be able to spot some of these setups out.
Ogwin.
That could work in favor, and I think that's once again why also Ogwin, integral part here on this Kufra. He's going to have to find the setups himself, but really that damage potential from Liu Yi alone, paired up with the implosion setups, is what I feel like AP Brent has to be most cautious of. Not only that, but the fact that you have like kind of this layered opportunity, right? Whether it's Ademir, whether it's the spatial migration from Hades, there's so many things that they also have to be concerned about, whereas they're trying to build up time, especially here in the hands of Super Marco. We've seen him pick up this Claude. How's the items looking real quick, though?
I'll speak of the items right now in a bit, but let me just say that Team A should also be concerned of the late game groupings and also the early game groupings, because this is the moments that Jay will shine the most. And speaking of that, the defense should be quite easy for Team Flash because everyone will be just stacked up when it comes to defense against Team Flash. Not just that, having the Beatrix will change a lot. This is a transition here. And speaking of the items, real quick, it looks really good for Super Marco. Everything is safe so far, I would say. So the Demon Hunter Sword is coming, but I think he's gonna go out.
Good read by Marco. Wow, pops in that BMI in the back just for safety. And Team Flash, they'll punish by going for the turret now. It's going to be traded, exchanged with a little bit of a neutral objective take in the bottom side of the map by AP Brent. Turret for neutral objective turtle. Who's it worth for?
Yeah, who's that worth for, Yasu, here with that trade?
Look, I would. Did someone transfer? I saw Ademir flashes into that bush. But anyways, I would actually choose the turret in any day of my life because it's a turret under 5 minutes, and he got all the gold of that turret. So Vanix right now can switch lanes and can go to the bot lane, having all his team assets being served towards him so that he goes and takes one more turret. So now the mission is more easy for Flash, so I wouldn't prefer that turtle.
Okay, well, right now, AP Brent holding 2. We know that they like to usually, for most part, when you watch an AP Brent, they like to secure those turtles here, 3 for 3. Okay, they're going to go up top again.
Super Marco gonna get chunked. It seems like there's a disconnect here from Ademir and the rest of the team that could maybe have been a kill. AP Bread now rotating up top. Meanwhile, down below, Hades going 1v1. Flapteezy 3 times this game. The 3 kills Team Flash are all on Flap.
Flash having a tough time.
Yeah, and another turret can be stacked for Team Flash. It's easy for Hades at the bot lane.
Okay, so with that, they still get the second turn in the bottom lane. They're going to work with the space.
Heavy spin, not connecting. It's a good flicker out by Vanix. He picks up the BOD. That's a power spike for him.
Okay, it's interesting the way things are working right now, right? I mean, necessarily you're expecting a lot of these setups to happen, but so far neither team has found that just yet. But Team Flash, the fact that they have these early kills for them, building momentum, they've got this small gold lead now, that should actually transition really well. Even if, let's say, they give this next turtle up, right? 3 for 3 for AP Bren, Team Flash ultimately will be in a good position for that first Lord dance here, Yasu.
Yeah, if you give me that balance and you ask me, will you choose turtles again or turrets? Look at how things going for Team Flash. They took the turrets, and right now they might even take the.
That's a dangerous spot.
Really good position.
Implosion.
Oh,
but Vanix.
Oh,
Vanix. Okay, gonna get pinned down now with a Raging Sandstorm as well. Quite a confusing play, but a Violent Requiem there will be used up. Flapteezy falls for the 4th time this game, but it's traded for Vanix. I think Bren are happy with that trade.
Yeah, seems like it. Again, this should just be another turtle that they're going to be able to secure, unless Hades actually wants to contest it himself. So Kyle Teasy working on that buff. He's going to go ahead and get it held there, but it will reset. Right now, once again, it's a trade. Flapteezy, though, kind of in a sticky situation.
Again in the mid lane, Tyrant's Revenge. Shay gonna be able to flake her out. That's the dispersion and the rotation. The outplay with the knockup from Lolzy. The knockup slays Super Marco 5-1 in this game. Hades jumps in with a spatial migration. Not able to find anything. Final slash right now with the Requiem as well. Gonna be used up, and the implosion connects onto 3. The heavy spin saves it, but Hades still finds the retry. AP Bren are losing out on all parts of the map.
Oh my god, 2 times the marksmen were given on a silver Blachen. Look here, taking that turtle.
What's happening?
It's a wombo combo.
It's a wombo combo, and Team Flash are dominating.
5,000 gold lead. Don't blink or you'll miss them. It was the catchphrase here for Team Flash. Holy moly.
Oh my god. Also, one more turret here going down. We are just 8 minutes through, and speaking of AB Bren, actually, you are the expert here. Nice, so you can tell me, have you seen AB Bren fall that badly? But before that, let's go and see what happened in the third fight. The final slash landing on Hades, but look at the ultimate. Lolzy was just a monster. He was just a monster, and as I told you, in the groupings, whenever there's a lot of people stacked with each other at certain place, this is what serves Team Flash the most.
Hey man, expert or not, I'm just happy to see Tigreal shining and another pick, Louis Yi, coming to shine right now. Like, that is exciting enough for this, for this matchup. Now, my biggest question though is AP Bren, how do they adapt to this? And if the game goes on, let's say 18+ minute mark, how does this lineup still execute what it's been doing the past 9 minutes, right? For the most part. They're in a good lead, and I said this before they had that amazing fight. They were going to be in a good position for the first objective take with that Lord. Now I think AP Bren's going to be the one obviously hesitating, trying to find space to work around like they are now.
Well, look, I have an answer for that. I think that if Flapteezy goes in and he just distracts enemy, and he is the sacrificial lamb from Team AB Bren, At this point only, he can distract Team Flash from having this solid composition, and at this point, particularly Ogwin should go in and Super Marco follows on upon it, because Super Marco so far just died one time, and that's a good thing for him because there's a lot of pressure happening on Team AB Bren. If Super Marco landed his Blazing Duet in a really good moment, having everyone stacked by Ogwin, things are gonna look really good for Team AB Bren.
All right, well, that one, either way, if they're able to hold on, that's one of the biggest things, right? Given this situation, given the gap here, Lolzy was going to get spotted out. So Lord, nearly half health. Do they actually want to press this and go for it? So they're going to go ahead and hold it. It is going to reset. AP Bren getting in position. This is one of the important parts, right? Also, Golden Staff just being picked up by Super Marco. Like you mentioned, too, is it a sacrificial lamb or not for Flapteezy? Ogwin goes in.
Target's revenge and the rage. Now it's going to be Lolzy who flickers forward, but isn't able to find anything. Flapteezy goes for the final slash earlier and takes everyone out of the heavy spin. Miscoordination, miscommunication happening, and Team Flash capitalized. Jay dispersion rotation, bringing Few back. But Few's able to escape just barely, and the Hades picks up the first Lord of the game.
Wow, not following up on that final slash, even though he was the sacrificial lamb in the previous moment. Yet, AB Bren having Lolzy out of the formation, having Lolzy away from his own teammates, and even melted down. He didn't use his ult quite good enough. So, Team AB Bren, that was the window.
I was baffled. You could hear the hesitation when I was asking them. The final slash took them away from the heavy spin. What happened?
There's a disconnect here.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you got to credit Team Flash because Adamir getting that first blood against Flapteezy, I feel like he's just been living in this nightmare so far in this game. Flap has not had a good time for this, and that was off the whims of Adamir getting that first blood, and now he's just, you know, freely riding the waves of sand around, you know, all parts of AP Bren. So even in situations like this, if they get sandwiched into a turret cut off, it's going to be troublesome for them. So with that first Lord marching in, you know, relatively you're not expecting a ton of damage to these base turrets, these inhibitor turrets, but right now it's looking interesting how they're going to go for it.
Yeah, really pushing out of the map. That's what I want to see. Oh, he didn't commit to it.
It's a bit too risky, I believe, inside of the base of AP Bren with just the first Lord. Ogwin finds a Timer's Revenge. The final slash only really connecting onto the minions. Meanwhile, all tier 2s taken and dealt with by Team Flash. A few shots from Few only onto Adamir. Team Flash will just disengage. They'll take everything in the enemy jungle, though.
Relocating is a key for Team Flash because with having that Lu Yi and having the ultimates out of the boundaries, out of the vision of Team AB Brain can actually make a solid backdoor with Lolzy's engage and also the rest of the, I would say, the back, because Team Flash are working right now as if they were one man.
Something interesting here, and that I've always said about AP Brand, even back in when, you know, it was really relevant and in ISF, the way that they like to play it, it was usually they were securing all these objectives early on, the 8-minute to 9-minute mark. They usually got a kill, they transitioned to the First Lord, and then they dominated from there. Right now, I just feel like this Lu Yi pick and everything else, the execution from Team Flash has completely disgruntled AP Bren to the point where they're just like, man, what is going on? There's diversion after diversion. We don't know where to look, and they're struggling with it, right? So that, if that's the game plan for Team Flash to kind of just leave AP Bren guessing, then it's working right now. And if they can keep it working, Hades going to jump in.
Spatial migration onto Kyle. Still he's able to dash out quite easily out of that one.
Well, speaking of where to look, actually I've just have a quick look at the itemization coming from Kyle TZ. He doesn't have the gold enough, I would say. Half items coming from the side of the Akai, and he is 3K behind.
And 2 levels
Hades.
down as well.
Yeah, that's a gap to talk about.
Bro, this is not what you usually see from this team.
Well, right now, again, diversion is something, Lu Yi is not something we usually see, but it's working wonders right now for Team Flash, and this is another Lord that could just go in the hands of Team Flash.
For free, the Bennett's Rage comboed in. Hades used the red tree. That's perfect calculation. You might say, hey, it should be going to the jungler. No, as long as it goes to Team Flash, it's a win.
Okay, so Yasuo, since That's another Lord in the hands of Team Flash here. How's the defense looking? How's the high ground and everything else for AP Bren to defend against this next Lord marching on the top?
We have spoken a little bit about Team Flash when they go to defense, but they don't look like they are going to defense anytime soon. AB Bren, if we look at them, they have that crowd control. They can push the minions away. They can make a little bit of a mess, I would say, in terms of the final slash. But is the clearance enough? I don't think so. I wouldn't recommend having a Claude to rely on in the defense phase. But that's what we have, or that's what Team AB Bren have, and that's what they should work with.
We'll see if they can make it work for them as they get prepped up and ready. Already losing that top turret. Lord's got to be worked on. Let's see if they put the pressure here in the mid lane. Ogwin.
Ooh! Final slash, flicker, this time it connects onto the back of the blazing duet from Marco! Was perfect! It finds Onyx. It's only Flap who's a sacrificial lamb. 7th time this game. If they lose a base turret, it will still be worth it for Team Flash, and that's exactly what happened.
I wouldn't
7 times, man.
7 times. That's rough.
wouldn't feel good. I wouldn't feel good dying 7 times for the team, to be honest. But seems like this is what FlapTZ have to do. But again, answering your question, Naisu, the crowd control is the only thing that can make AB Bren pull out a good defense.
Well, once again, they lost those 2 base turrets, right? We talked about this a little bit even last series with
relocation.
Onic. Oh, dive.
Relocation.
They're gonna go up top. This is dangerous. They find Marco. Oh, okay, he knows.
That's how you do it. That's how you utilize the jungle creeps, man.
Good check. Spot it out, right? So going back to it, FlapTZ, I feel like at this point in the game, you just got to do that. If you can get, who cares about the KDA at this point, right? It's all he has to do is get a good final slash off. That would turn the tide of some of these fights because so far, Super Marco's actually done a pretty good job farming up, getting to where he needs to be on this Claude, given the situation, given the fact that they are down quite a bit of gold at this point. So if they're able to find some type of setup here, that could be a problem for Team Flash, and things could quickly flip over. But that's why you see them really trying to find moments here. Ogwin, even himself, looking for where is the...
What?
Oh!
That's a flicker implosion. Ogwin has tough boots. I'm not too sure if that was the right target. Ogwin now going onto the tank as well. Whoa, good final slash, no follow-up just for now. Lolzy gonna be chunked very low, but a BMI gets Super Marco all the way back. It was almost that immortality taken out by Few. But for Team Flash, they'll just disengage. Adamir opens up that bush, spotting CalTZ in the mid lane, gonna be taken down. Heavy spin. Adamir Hades finds a violent requiem and is instantly followed up with a dispersion. Not enough damage, but it's enough right now. Ogwin still able to survive. Jay in the back with a spear. He goes in all alone, 1v5. Jay, you're a mage, you're not an assassin. He gets the winner in time, but what was that?
That was a bad decision. That was a bad decision by Jay, and this was the window for Team AB Bren. Did you see the amount of ultimates wasted by Team Flash in this team fight?
That's when you want to feel like a hero moment, you know? It doesn't work out. So now with that, as I was just saying earlier, a moment can flip this game around. And AP Bren right now is going to go ahead and dominate this side of the Lord.
Oh my god, AB Bren are looking good on this Lord. They will take that Oh, it's not... Is it an evolved Lord? I didn't notice when did it start, but let's see together how it looked like. Well, speaking of the items, because it popped off on the screen in the middle of the team fight, I saw that Blade Armor is being prepared by Lolzy, which is a really good thing when you are facing that Claude. But not just that, there were some penetration items stacking up with the Genius Wand, also following with the Holy Crystal from the Luyi. So the team, we now can see that the items. So Luyi does, she is stacking up some of the penetration, but she might sell this this freeze item just to add upon more damage. The defense is one of the best cases that Team Flash can do, or like one of the best situations.
Well, once again, they get prepped and ready. Taking these tier 2 turrets down, they're going to work on the top side as well. Lord making its way there. AP Bren getting in a position to assault the base of Team Flash. It's been 19 minutes, and in a matter of a couple minutes, they've flipped this game around, finally garnering themselves a small lead themselves, again diminishing the 7,000 gold lead that Team Flash had when they were knocking on the base of AP Bren. So they'll manage the waves here, and we'll see if they try to punch this one in, and what can Team Flash do here.
It's so hard when you see that the tables turn, and now it's turn for Team AB Brand to go in, but yet they didn't use that Lord for taking anything more. That one inhibitor turret. 19 minutes in, 20 minutes in, and this game is just getting started.
Team Flash gets outscaled, right? You gotta remember that here. There's a Claude, there's an Ofaria.
Yeah.
And for Hades, he's gonna be able to tank some things, some damage. The Raging Sandstorm doesn't connect. Flapteezy! Final slash, and this time it is into the heavy spin. He's found the mistakes and he's learned from it. Super Marco picks up a double. He's gonna be the global representative of KDA. Doesn't matter.
KDA doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Waited the whole game. You know, he's gone down multiple times, and he waited for that moment. He got it, and now AP Bren making their way down the middle. Are they going to punch it in?
Oh, Gwen with that flicker, unable to find the combo just yet, but AP Bren have taken everything. It's another final slash from Flapteezy. This time out to Hades. He buys the winner truncheon, he pops it in time. Flapteezy, one last hit is all he needs. Kyle finds the shutdown. Vanix now in the back. It's an implosion in desperation. It's a wipeout for AP Bren. 0-7 win. Wow.
Very quickly, AP Bren turns things around in a matter of minutes to secure game one here against Team Flash.
I can hear the bees buzzing for Team AB Bren. A first victory here, and having their second appearance in this group, they can make Team Flash.
What the heck?
Go away.
It looked so cool until it didn't. You know, like, it worked so well until just something happened. I feel like at one point, man, Flapteezy, he had enough.
0-7, that's where he draws the line.
That's enough. That was enough.
0-1 all the way to 0-6, it's fine. I can take more. 0-7, no. That's where I draw the line, fam.
But yet, as I told you, he was the sacrificial lamb of this formation. When he goes in, he just had one job, and that's to distract Team Flash.
That's a poor lamb, man.
Yeah, that's tough, you know, when that's the course of the game. But hey, eventually...
He was the sacrificial lamb of this formation. When he goes in, he just had one job, and that's to distract Team Flash.
That's a poor lamb, man.
Yeah, that's tough, you know, when that's the course of the game. But hey, eventually, I don't know, maybe Arlot's like the new Franco in a way, because Franco's always like, oh, I miss all these hooks, but it only took one hook. But now, you get all these deaths, you're playing Arlot, it only takes that one final slash, right? And that's the perfect thing where if you imagine it, it can happen. Now, once again,
if he gets MVP, bro.
Hey, maybe he should, for everything he put up with.
Maybe he's the silent MVP, but not the MVP himself.
Who's it going to be? Owen?
Marco?
Right.
Super Marco here. Again, game MVP, Super Marco, the 5-1-1 on this Claude pick, Yasu.
His spell was on point, but at some point I actually said that one Purify wouldn't be enough against Team Flash, to be honest, but he went for a safer route, I would say, in terms of the emblem. He went in a little bit tanky, but look at the itemization. At some point, he knew that he's not getting the gold he needs to stack up damage or to get the damage he needs. So he had to sell the armor boots that he bought earlier on today. And the final slash by Flapteezy, not at this moment, at the last moment, was actually the final slash specifically for Hades, the last thing he saw in the Land of Dawn. Here we saw that Team Flash was dominating the game all the way through. They had the KDA, they had everything, they had the team fight, they had the crowd control and the burst damage, but yet they didn't have enough to close the game and to finish it for their favor. This was the window I was talking to you about. Here, Team Flash wasted a lot of their ultimates, and this was the opening for Team AB Bren, but they found another window.
Wow. Yeah, moments like that, you know, this is where the tides kind of started to turn a little bit. And usually, I mean, even with this, right, it's like,
no.
You didn't have to go for that. I understand some of the logic there, but really, you know, from there, things collapse. And that's the one that Flapteezy was waiting for, that final slash, to turn the tide even further of this game.
Yeah.
And they continued on from there.
Look at how Marco just shreds through anything. You put them in a line, you let them just sit there for a bit, they disappear. Super Marco's damage in a later stage. It's crazy because he was behind, bro.
Yeah.
He was just farming. He looked for angles to come back in the game, and I feel like that's why he's one of the top goal laners now in the world. The team was losing. They had 2 kills. Guys, 2 kills.
Yeah.
And Super Marco was able to do that.
Well, I can't help but to admire that final slash from FlapTZ. He actually made everyone stand against the wall, one by one, for Kyle TZ to have his heavy spin, to have his moment, and to finish this game off. At some moment, I had this glimpse, I had this memory of seeing a Tigreal making a full defense on his own, using his ultimate, zoning the minions out, but he didn't have anyone to continue the job. Phoenix was banished from the land of Dawn. Looking here at the itemization from both teams, as I told you, Super Marco at some point knew that he doesn't have the gold enough. He does now, like, and on this statistic he does have. But on the game, during the game itself, we know that at some point Team Flash had 10k gold lead.
Yeah.
So, and also, do you guys remember the time where he revealed that Death Bush with the first kill? And also, there was the throw from I don't know if you agree with me or not, but there was a throw from Jay when he went in super aggressive for the backline and he was revealed. If he was in the bush, maybe he would have pulled up a surprise or recall, but he went out.
No. That was a strat. That's assassin Loyi, buddy.
Yeah. He was trying to have that, like I said, the hero moment. Like the point was he knew that there was multiple members quite low, and the intention there was to try to cap them off, right? Like that's really what he would want to do. But the response that time, again, how many times does the diversion work, right? Eventually it's going to get figured out, and that's kind of what happened here as things fell into place here, Yasu.
Forgotten one.
He's definitely not going to be forgotten.
At some point, he was 0-7-2, if I'm not mistaken. So having these 8 assists means that he was the turning factor at the final moments for Team AB Brain. He was the final decider with that final slash. FlapTZ, your efforts will be mentioned in history.
You said that, you know, at one point he was 0-7-2. This proves that he was 0-7-8 by the end of the game. It still was 0-7.
That was the line you said. Yeah.
Bro, KDA literally doesn't matter. I've seen Maloyski do this every game in MPLID, and now it's Flap.
See?
Well, looking at Fuel here, you can actually tell when did he deal all that damage, because at some point, yes, he was in the backlines dealing or like throwing those second skills, but was he effective for me? I didn't see Few make those like moves, but it was mostly for me. I was focused on FlapTZ and also, to be honest, on Kyle with their Kuombo combo thing, but Few seems like he pulled up that magic. He was holding the string, and he was the maestro behind all these kills for Team AB Bren.
Yeah, again, you look back at this game, this should have been Team Flash's game, right?
All right.
Again, looking at the lineup too, I loved it. I love the, in a way, you know, some experimentation happening here. The fact that Tigreal comes out, Louis Yi, something we're not expecting. But hey, Team Flash is a team that likes to do these kind of things, right? But before we head to game 2, we're going to have to go and throw it over once again to Manjin on stage for an interview.
Thank you so much to our shoutcasters. That was a hard fight. That was a hard game number 1 for AP Bren. Anyways, we have here the M4 World Champions, Echo. So we need to speak in Tagalog first, okay? All right. Carl, M5 na kayo, Carl.
M5 watcher po.
Watcher. All right. They're finally here in M5 as supporters, as viewers. Let me ask you guys, how is the M5 experience so far? Kumusta, JP?
Sobrang intense po ng mga laban, saka nagtatrash talk po kasi kaya maganda panoorin.
Gusto mo, he likes the banters. He likes the trash talk. All right. Now, I have a question maybe for Sanford. Sanford, which team surprised you the most based on the performance? Naintindihan mo naman yun, di ba? Okay, right.
Bren po.
Bren, may iba bang team? Do you have any other teams that you like the performance?
Yung team po ni Fly Solo, yung Deus Vult pa rin.
Deus Vult, alright, Deus Vult. Nandun si Kid Bomba. Alright. Now I have a question for Carlito the Great. Carl, you have fans here, Carl, ha? Alam mo na yan, Carl. Okay, so, Carl, You are former teammates with Flap, Few, and Coach Ducky. They are playing right now. What is your message to them?
Good luck sa inyong tatlo dyan, tsaka sa mga bago niyong kasama. Pagpatuloy niyo ang ginagawa niyo, alam kong kayang-kaya niyo manalo.
Kayang-kaya nyo manalo. Okay, let me talk to maybe Sanji. Sanji, of course, and dalawa na kayo sumagot nito, alright? Sanji, who do you think is going to win the M Series? Fearless forecast. Walang kabayas-bayas, Sanji.
Feel ko, AP Bren.
AP Bren, okay. How about Benny? Benny, fearless forecast. Who's gonna win the M Series?
AP Bren or Blacklist?
AP Bren or Blacklist. All right. One question. Who do you think is the dark horse of the tournament? The dark horse of the tournament. Who wants to answer? Maybe JP. Who's the dark horse for you guys of the tournament?
Deus Bolt or Homeboys?
Homeboys and Deus Bolt. All right. These guys are preparing for the MPL Season 13. Carl, maybe you can share with us some of your off-season preparations. Meron ba kayong pag-prepare na ginagawa ng Echo?
Ngayon po, parang nag-shuffle po lahat kaming 10. Tapos magkakaroon po kami ng team building, so medyo relax lang po kami ngayon.
Hindi ka nagigil ngayon?
Gigil pa rin po, syempre.
Alright, there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Echo! Your M4 champions. There you have it. Now let's continue the game. Let's pass it over to game number 2 to our shoutcasters.
Thank you so much, Manji, and also thank you to Echo. You know, we watched them walk in earlier. Yasu, I know you were surprised, man, that they were actually here.
Nice, it wasn't lying.
Yeah.
Actually, for me personally, before the tournament begins, I was kind of surprised that Team Echo isn't in the tournament because at some point I thought that it's inevitable for them to be. I'm not saying that the other Philippine teams are bad or anything, but having a chance to defend your own titles, back-to-back champion, that was a dream. I think it was too good to be true, and Team Echo, better luck next time. I don't know, seeing them here as guests isn't what I expected.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of fans still out there, obviously, for Echo. And, you know, a lot of people are hoping that they could go and defend their title. But still, there's so many just good teams right now.
Yeah.
I feel like the competitiveness in the esport of MLBB has risen magnitudes over the past year alone. You know, and that's the beauty of even the wild card. And I always say this after getting to experience it, is that's the great thing about it. You see these regions rising through and, you know, you have to go back and look at game 1. Team Flash, a team right from Singapore here, holding a very big lead against the Filipino champions, AP Bren. That already is actually, to me, quite a statement. Now, was it with a lineup that you typically don't see? Yes, but that's what makes Team Flash awesome. I mean, that's, again, when you look back at their road here, they won some of those games, obviously, with some of these unorthodox picks that worked for them. And I think that's what makes them special as a team.
And actually, speaking of the regions who are now uprising and showing really great performance on the international stage, we cannot neglect the fact that Kyrie, earlier on today, there was a quote where he spoke well about Team Homeboys. And now, we have just heard from JB that he also recommends that they might be the dark horse. So, again, as you said, there are a lot of teams in this tournament that can turn things around, and it's not only about the champions defending titles, it's about, I'm not going to say a new era, because so far we can't find a champion in this tournament that has 2 M series. So I'm not going to say a new era, I'm going to say uprising teams.
Okay, let's see exactly what happens here, but as we wait for the draft for game 2, Mirko, I'm going to ask you, because, you know, I know even when you were play-by-play in the team fights there, it was kind of crazy, right? It was chaotic in a way in its own right. Now, everything that happened there for Team Flash, it fell into place. So do you think for game 2, they kind of go with one of those interesting lineups again to get the lead against AP Bren?
Surprisingly enough, I think again, right? I mean, the drafts look very experimental in game number 1, but that's exactly what gave them the lead in the start. You're right. It feels like AP Bren were just not ready for that kind of draft in the early stage of the game. They didn't know how to really properly react to the diversions rotating across the map. But I feel like now it's readable. If you go for the same thing, AP Bren know exactly what's coming at them, right? That was their shot, man. And the execution, it's always like this. For a lot of the newer teams coming into the M Series, they get a good lead. Triple Esports yesterday as well against Onic, a tournament favorite.
Yep.
Same thing that's happening now, but they're not able to fully utilize the goal lead they get in the early game to take the game all the way.
Yeah. And just looking at AP Bren in general, especially the history over the past months that they've been playing, I feel like in a way when they have this very dominant play style for a while, especially in the early game, objectively, teams have kind of caught on that in their own way, right? Yep. And if it's these kind of drafts that you're not used to seeing and it causes enough kind of confusion and your tempo is going to be messed up, that's kind of what happened to AP Bren there. Now, Team Flash, we know too that there are some of these pocket picks, if you will, that work for them. Even Hades alone, we do know that he likes to specialize and likes to pick up the Amon, the Amon here, right? Can work for him, Hellkurt, stuff like that. But, you know, in this situation, given how everything's kind of fallen into place here, is it too risky, Yasu, to go something like that? Should Team Flash go with something that is more a little bit like, if you will, I don't know, what is standard,
yeah,
you know,
no
anymore.
Meta,
Because really, there's so many different strategies you can actually pull through. So is that something Team Flash might want to consider here for Game 2?
Well, at some point, I kind of had a similar conversation with some of the pro players, and I've asked them, not the same exact question, but a similar one. And that one was, do you guys take your pick if you trust it enough that even if the coach doesn't trust? So let's say, for example, maybe that Louis wasn't agreed by the coach, but the player himself knew, or Jay himself knew, that it is the time for me to shine with that pick, with the pick of Louis. So this is the question actually to coming through. Do Team Flash have more stuff hitting for us? Because maybe that was like their card to play against AB Bren. So far, I don't think that we will see a target ban upon such these, like one of these here. Maybe find a way to work with them. So maybe they will give them the Louis again, they will open up everything for Team Flash, but yet they will have now an idea about how to deal with it. Not the way they did in the draft, but maybe in the macro.
Yeah, it's a little weird for me, because like with that last draft, if you're AP Bren, you're kind of thinking like, okay, well, what are they going to pull through, right? Like, what is going to show up from Team Flash? Even just looking at their run through the group stages, and again, I think that makes even the draft approaching it, you kind of just try to cover your bases for the most part. First phase, you see a lot of this, you know, similar heroes being banned out here. We'll see if AP Bren wants to approach that and how, again, they want to adjust. Because if you look even how Game 1 went, it didn't start too hot for AP Bren, right? They struggled technically in the early game.
And it started by Flap. It started by Flap at the bot lane. He was so pressured by the Khalid pick. And actually, at some point, Team Flash, they got inhibitor turrets, right? They did get in some of the inhibitor turrets of Team AB Bren. So having so many risks, or like paying for the facing the consequences of some of their action is the thing that cost them the game, but it wasn't the draft and the way they executed it. But hit us with this fun fact.
Well, like I talked about before the matchup, the greatness, it runs in their blood, right? AP Bren's Ogwin is Pando's cousin. He's the one that actually got them into, back in Season 10, I think it was, where it was recommended to Ogwin to join the squad, and look where they are now.
Two-time gold medalist this year. Just this year, by the way, right? Not even counting the previous gold medal with Ducky, Few, and Carl Teasy.
Why don't you try my cousin? That was the question. Try my cousin.
That's exactly what Pando said, right? Yo, you need a roamer?
I got a cousin.
I got it. I know a guy.
You know what's funny? Because back in Yasu I know a guy. Yasu would know this because over in MENA, there's some teams out there that have like 3 brothers on a team.
Troll Tarzan, right?
Yeah. There's another team.
In Axe, there are 3. It's a family team.
It's a family team.
Brothers, not even cousins. Brothers.
Yeah, and they literally, last I heard, they're like, yeah, the 4th team member, he's in training, and he's like really young, so
I mean, it makes sense, right? You already have a brotherly bond. You already have
synergy.
Synergy, it's literally in the family. It runs in the family, the synergy.
Well,
the chemistry.
It works.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Even in Indo, we have twins in the team. Bigatron,
right.
Yeah.
Matt and Max back in the day.
Yeah.
Then he moved to Secret.
Minuteman.
Minuteman! Oh,
Right?
we always
throwing it back.
There's always going to be brothers, man. There's always going to be twins as well. Malaysia and
Gotta be.
Indo, twins.
I wonder actually how many stories there are out there. It's like, yeah, just try my brother, try my cousin.
Yeah.
You know?
Then we also have an example in the desk backstage.
Who?
The twins.
Who's the
They
twins?
look exactly like the same.
Who is it?
Gideon Q and Lavelle.
Yeah.
That
actually
works
makes,
too.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
They could
actually,
be
from-
brothers, man.
I believe their title, like Gideon Q's title, is the English Lavelle. And Lafelle's title is the Malaysian Gideon Q.
The Malaysian Gideon Q.
Yeah.
But then it gets even crazier, though. You're talking about casters here.
Yeah?
About the our good old friend
What are we getting at
Jays,
here?
Jays
and Arashi. Oh, man. It's a shame.
Shout out
that
to you guys, by the
Shout
way.
outs to Jays and Arashi. I actually worked with Jays and MPLID for the longest time.
Yeah.
I haven't met Arashi, though, in SG.
Nah, Jays was just my roommate over for the wild card.
Yeah, he
I
did
told
cast
him
for the
to-
wild
yeah.
card.
Yeah.
It was
Man.
great, man.
Missed that guy.
He actually shifted to analyst, yeah? Kind of.
Yeah. Well, as we wait for the
TAA.
draft here, we talk about
Anything.
synergy, families setting up, but it's true, right? I mean, at the same time, you see a lot of things fall into place here. Now, for Team Flash, once again, we can. This is a team really that when you're trying to, I feel like even Wolf, in a way, would have some difficulty trying to conceptualize what they want to go for. But we are going to be jumping into the draft now for game number 2. How does Team Flash adjust to get us to a game 3 ahead against AP Brent?
Well, actually, before that draft starts, I wanted to say something, and it goes like this. Since we have that time, why don't we throw out some strange picks, yet effective? For me, I want like each one of us to say a certain pick. I would say Granger.
Granger, wow.
Yeah, like something wild, something we didn't see yet effective. Like we saw Imperial with the Yisun
Do I have to pick my favorite hero, or do I have to pick a hero that's random?
Your favorite hero, but not played. Like one of those who are forgotten.
Yisun Shin, I've seen it in the wild card,
Yeah.
but not here, right? I would love to see Yisun Shin get played here in the main stage. Last time we saw it in M, was it Zane?
Zane.
In the main stage, it was Zane, yeah. Okay.
And Naisu, what's your favorite? What's the forgotten hero for you that you want to see?
It's not really forgotten anymore, you know. It's back in the meta.
He's back in the meta. It's Gord. Anytime Gord gets picked up, I'm happy.
He mystic gushes whenever Gord gets picked up.
Yeah.
Well,
Gosh.
speaking of the draft right now, we can see that the first phase of drafting is almost done. Team Flash got, again, banning that Phoebus and also not sitting up for Nolan whatsoever. They are sitting up for something else. And this time, it's not forgotten. This time, Arlet is banned by Team Flash.
Okay, I think that's a good start here for some of these things falling into place. Team Flash, though, waiting for this last ban from AP Bren. With what's open, you know, because the Guinevere's taken out, you are still leaving open. Bruno, not sure if they want to go that route.
Faramis.
The Faramis is still going to be there. Valentina, of course.
Angela.
Time to drop the beat.
Joy is taken out. That's probably honestly, that's probably one of the better ones you can go for now. Again, priority-wise here, Yasu, what are we thinking?
I would say go for the Valentina because if AB Bren right now pulls off an Angela or even a Faramis, you can have the best of both worlds. You can have the hard guard. You can also have the Realm. You can have everything that Team AB Bren has for their first picks. But we might see something surprising. We might see actually a Bruno. But I still stand with my Valentina.
The Bruno definitely could work out here. Maybe a Faramis could also be picked up by Team Flash or AP Bren.
Yes.
Definitely need to think about that. And they go for the Valentina to try to predict or stop that Faramis pick. Even if it does get picked up here, they will be able to counteract that. But I do have a fun fact.
What's the fun fact?
The hero that Flash decided to choose to respect this game was the hero that went 0-7. It was the Arlet, man. I mean,
KDA doesn't matter.
It shows you, exactly. 0-7, but the impact, it was visible to Team Flash. They were like, damn.
Dude, if people aren't playing the ranked games and saying, hey, I heard on the broadcast KDA doesn't matter. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Did you guys see how much pleasure did I have when they got that Valentina?
I saw you jump, and the Bruno pick gets picked up as well. You can jump even more now.
Whole lot of pleasure. Bruno, Matilda, locked in.
Bruno, Matilda. Well, Bruno so far have proven many times that I cannot actually count that he's able to control his lane, but yet he always faced that problem against the Ixia. So maybe Flash wants to take the Ixia early now before they go to the second phase. Having the Bruno makes you have an assurance that
we sat back instantly. Same reaction from you, nice. So we went, whoa, that's a signature Hades pick, bro.
Is it a man? Okay, I wasn't like I don't know. Actually, I'm like confused and at war with myself here because I'm like, is this what I was expecting or is this not? Because just again looking at Team Flash, how they made it here, what they went through, and how they performed so far, this is probably a better case scenario for them to just pick it up, go with the Minotaur. You got the Valentina, you can work around that. But now I'm just kind of concerned, right, for Hades here.
Why?
On how AP Bren wants to play this. Also the fact that, yes, you have a Matilda. How do you want to just put the pressure into the jungle? Oh, and the Faramis is going to be picked up.
I don't agree with AP Bren. I know they have a good draft. I know that it's all like it's streak when it comes to meta. But look here with me. Team Flash, they do have the Fanny, and there's no crowd control, no crowd control. I'm not gonna count the Matilda ult as a crowd control here. So having Hades on his Fanny, and now being able to ban the crowd control heroes, maybe he'll take out the Kaja, maybe also take out what was his name? Not a Franco, Kufra, yeah. It can work for Team Flash. They can just make the way so clear for Hades and depend on his mechanics.
Okay, so wait, you said you didn't like AP Bren's draft?
I didn't like that they don't have any crowd control, and even though they saw the Fanny, they committed to a Faramis and not taken a crowd control XP laner or even a tank. That's my point. Would you agree?
I gotta agree. The fact that they don't have lockdown is definitely concerning. I think also, though, from Team Flash, they were trying to bait that out. They're trying to get either a Kanja or a Kufra pick early here to really nail AP Bren down, because that should be the spearhead for AP Bren coming into the series. And the thing is, they already have a Matilda, so it gets them into a very tough spot. It's no longer flexible. Where's the Matilda going to go? Mage? Nah.
Yeah. You know where they're going.
Indeed, yes.
You know where they're going, but that's the thing. So, like, how do you cover that base? What do you put in the jungle? What do you put in the XP lane for AP Bren to deal with this? And do you really want to go ahead and just pressure the Fanny, or kind of just let it roll, and then fight for the objectives later on? Because right now you can already see it. Some of the utility options are now being focused on. The box are being taken out here. Really, again, we're probably going to see it. Do they actually opt for the assassin versus assassin matchup? Could AP Bren pick up, for example, the Lancelot, because the Nolan's taken out? Do they want to go that route?
Pain.
The Lancelot makes sense, right? If you want to go for the assassin, but against a Minotaur, anything that dives is scary, dude. You get countered hard.
Yeah.
What's concerning is that Diggy hasn't been banned out, right? I mean, I don't know if they want to go for a very deep, like, Diggy Matilda mid lane composition. That's super risky, but hey, that Minion's Fury could definitely be handled by something like that.
Diggy Matilda? Do you know what I want to call out here
utility
for Team Flash?
What?
Trizla. Just take Trizla and everything goes down. Everything.
For Team Flash?
No, it goes down for AB Bren.
So they ban Trizla?
No, they take Trizla.
Okay, they take the Trizla, okay.
They take the Trizla. And maybe even ban a Diggy here. I know that I spoke about the Kaja and the Kufra, but have a... All right. I don't know why they use Zong, though. I don't see any use of banning that Yuzong so far.
Well, again, Diggy's kind of out of the picture for me. You already got the Faramis, the Matilda here. So XP lane in the jungle. Really, you still want the initiator, because you guys make a good point, right? You can't just let the Fanny be unleashed, not really being bothered at all. You have the Minotaur, great, can work. There's an answer. Hey, just go for the old, the old reliable.
The old reliable, all the way from M4. This hero's been meta for a whole year, dude. Even more than a year. It's been meta all throughout ever since it's been released.
Fred is spelt with 4 letters, and there's another name also 4 letters, and it's one of your favorite words.
What is it?
Or one of your favorite names.
What is it?
Guy's a Chad.
That's a Chad right there. Yeah, I mean, he's a Chad. He walks up, and this is exactly what AP Bren need. A lot of mid-control with the Phantoms and the Mathilda. That's good wave clear. Utilize that to invade as early as possible. Take away that purple buff, because, sure, the main way to counter a Fanny's lockdown, but a better way is to shut her down with taking that purple buff away. No purple, no problem. No need lockdown.
I gotta say, I am getting older and my memory just not as the same as before. Not mentioning it. Look, I called for an Ixia, I called for a Trizla, so I'm good with what I said before. But again, I kind of forgot actually about the Matilda and Paramis being locked down, and I was looking at the second phase of banning from Team Flash to look for more like crowd control heroes or something. So banning the Baxia actually and also the Yuzong means that they had what they wanted at the first place. They didn't know, from my perspective at least, they didn't know what to ban except for those heroes that can at least annoy at some point.
Yeah, and with that, again, the problem to solve for the Fanny here, I think AP Bren can actually execute this well with the Fredrin locked in. You got the Faramis. You got a way to get away too with the Matilda. So utility is going to be heavily in favor for them. Real quick, let's look at the team comparison here, Yasu.
Team Flash. For me, that's a team that should win with this draft. Like, for me, they won the draft. For Team Bren, yes, for sure, they have the hospital meta, they have the ambulance meta, if you want to say about, if you want to talk about it, but I wouldn't agree with them.
Well, agree or disagree, we're going to find out here as we get loaded into the land of Dun. Game number 2, it's match point for AP Bren against Team Flash. We'll see if Team Flash can turn it around here with the lineup that they've taken for this one. Again, Ixia could prove to be very worthy in this game and impactful if they're able to pull it off, alongside the Fanny here for Hades.
Well, before we get into the action, I want to point out that any ultimate that Team AB Bren have, we will have a copy from it with Jay. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have, for me at least, a winning draft, 100% win, at least for me.
For Team Flash?
Yeah, for Team Flash.
Okay, you're going with Team Flash. Your favorite Team Flash lineup.
All in.
Okay.
All in, 100%, yeah. Naisu?
Yeah, he's going 100% in it. Emblems looking pretty good here, too, for both teams, obviously. A lot of tenacities as well. 4 Team Flashes are going to have to deal with some of this when they're already flickering out. So, you know, that's a small win for them. Can he actually get away from this? He should be fine, even though Lolzy's there. But this is kind of Ogren's job right now, right? Be a nuisance. Deal with his Fanny here.
Well, look, with the flicker earlier, that's a good damage. But with the flicker earlier on, he should be punished, though.
Ooh. Ogren's taken very low. Kaltizi is actually a level down. Finally gets to level 4. It seems like despite Team Flash having a bit more damage to play with in the early stage, it's still AP Bren who have a little bit of a lead through the lanes. I think farming has been pretty good for them. 45 gold lead. It's very small, can go back and forth. But even in that gold lane, Vanix is getting out-traded by Marco.
Seeing the Fanny again and again tells me that the early game will be for the favor of Team Flash, while Cutthroat comes in.
Good defensive there with the flicker. So Turtle's going to be up. They already got the information that Hades is going to be on the top side, so that is the go signal to start up that Turtle. You can already see it being worked on here by Kaltizi.
Oh, a purple.
Rest of Team Flash, though, also trying to get in position. Ogwen just being a nuisance once again on around the purple buff. So trying to stall out Hades. This should just, once again, Turtle go in the hands of AP Bren here.
That was so close. It was a bit too close for comfort for the side of AP Bren. Adamir rotating over. Meanwhile, Ogwen trying to stop Hades from taking that purple buff, but he still had that retreat, so he picks it up for free. Turtle for purple.
Actually, at some point I was looking at Hades and neglecting the team fight. I thought that it's inevitable for Kyle to use his retribution. It was so risky, and I was actually kind of betting that Hades will not use his retribution, but after seeing Ogwen goes in, everything flipped around. If that happened, if that scenario in my head happened and took place, Team Flash would have went for the invade on the purple buff, and at this point, Fanny will be so far in lead when it comes to XP compared to the Fredrin.
Yeah, even with that, again, I think one of the biggest parts here for Team Flash and Hades in general is every Fanny's, obstacle is like, hold on, Flap, though.
Oh, not able to find the kill. Flap TZ survives. Just with 1 HP. Meanwhile, there's a trade up top that AP Bren are trying to look for.
What?
I think he thought that Flap already recalled. That's why he didn't jump into the bush, but hey, a turret is a turret. You get a lot of plating anyways here. Kyle TZ invades the other side of the map, trying to look for that mirror play, and Hades will just recall as Adamir proxies the wave.
Okay, so they're going to get a little bit of that gold to work around with on the bottom side, which does, keep things relatively even against AP Brent economy wise, and they're 30 seconds away from this turtle. So I feel like for Team Flash, they want to be able to get in position to actually contest this, but this is what I was expecting. When that Fredrin was locked in, this is the pressure that is that Hades has to deal with here.
And look at the poke already to Lolzy. Caltesi should be able to last hit this, and he does. He finds the purple buff now. It's going to be Hades without a purple buff. AP Brent escaping. Caltesi re-engaging, getting a good taunt, and an Appraiser's Wrath. One last hit despite the flicker. Caltesi stabs his way to the first kill in the game.
Controlling that purple buff is 101 how to counter a Fanny, and Kyle TZ has successfully got this mission right. AP Bren with 1.2k gold ahead. I wouldn't talk about the gold lead, I would just talk about Hades facing a hard time Flash team. And as we say, that was so close. There is one more turtle, right? This is the second turtle for Team AP Bren, and they are getting ahead in the gold. But I saw something when we saw the emblems earlier on. Vanix is going for kinda tanky approach when it comes to emblem.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, he kind of has to, right? The thing about Ixia, she's like a glass cannon. She's the epitome of a glass cannon, right? The way that works, and you kind of have to be able to position yourself really well, and that's where you're relying on the team here, especially to find the setup potential for you. But, 5 minutes into the game, AP Brent having this 2K lead, they're playing like it too. They're continuously this side of the jungle of Team Flash.
Why are Hades the one controlling the bot lane though? Oh, it was cut it down. Wow, Adamir now needs to join. So, will there be a fight here?
Yep, Theo still able to escape with the help. Wow,
why?
No commitment for the side of Team Flash. Hesitating, maybe thinking that there's going to be a little bit more members around. Kyle just picks up the purple buff for free. There's not much Team Flash can do. And now even with the Appraiser's Wrath just used to poke, that 100% win for Team Flash is not 100% so far.
Yeah, it's not looking like that. Still going to be putting the pressure here in the mid lane. Again, a little trip around the Circle Eagle. But look at the level gap, too, between the junglers. Kyle TZ 2 levels ahead right now of Hades. And that's, once again, how much pressure is being put here. Flap gets some information. He's going to go ahead and get back. But you can see the way that AP Brent is playing on the macro level here against what Team Flash is doing.
I kind of love what Flab is doing, actually controlling the lanes and also cutting them through for Team AP Bren. He's kind of annoying Team Flash at some point. They cannot do anything at this point when it comes to laning phase because Adamir completely neglects the bot lane, completely neglects the XP duties, and I cannot help but to wonder, Team Flash, they do have a winning draft. It is a 100% winning draft still for me, but they are not executing it as I imagined.
It's all about the execution, yeah?
Yeah.
Team Flash with a 100% winning draft, their execution is not 100%. Yeah, nice.
That's the maths, right? That's simple maths right now, but, whoa, Vanix.
Is it at least 20% though, the execution?
I would give it 40%.
Ah, it's not bad.
Hey, Yasu, you're the analyst here, so whatever percentage you want to throw out, I'll at least be on board for now, right? So Super Marco picking up his Berserker's Fury. But this is my problem here with this. It's a low-kill game. You've got a Fanny. You're supposed to be scaling really hard in the early game. Getting these kills.
Please.
You don't have it, though. And the game, look at this. Like, Hades can't even move around right now. So you're going to have to kind of default to usually what happens in this situation.
Fanix with the flicker. Gets out Lolzy now. Knocks Flap TZ out, but that's all he can do, really. He just knocks him up for a bit, gives him a bit of airtime.
Okay, well, going back to it, you're going to get to a point here on Hades where you gotta just kind of split push, right? And go for that, but mid lane.
Adamir with a penalty zone, and that's going to be a full barrage to the back, but there's no flicker to help him get to the range. Now is an Appraiser's Wrath dealing with another Realm HP. The world is massive, and it gets to Adamir, canceling the recall. Hades recalling on the other side, and Kyle TZ is taking control. You know what they want to do. They want to go and steal that purple buff again. Meanwhile, Flap completely different from game number 1.
You just experienced how this draft can work. If he just had that flicker Vanix, he could have easily swept Team AB Bren down. But yet, again, as you said, Naisu, and this is the point I kind of forgot to point out here. Fanny in the early game, you have it. Late game damage, you have it in the Ixia. Crowd control and setups, you have it with the Minotaur and the Terizla. Stealing all these good ultimates, you have it in the Valentina. What else do you need?
Well, right now, a purple buff right now is what they need for sure. Hades is going to get stunned up completely, and yeah, that early game to mid game completely neutralized because the steals continue to happen. And well, Yasu pointed out earlier, without the flicker, that 100% turns to 0% for Vanix.
Yeah. I mean, with that, you know, anytime you pick up any of these heroes that really require that purple buff, it's kind of a disaster when you don't get it for this long, right? Like, what can you do? Yes, you see Hades putting the pressure there, looking for that tier 1 on the bottom side, but that's ultimately another objective going to the hands of AP Bren here. And the rest of the team really trying to work it out. One thing that I will say for Team Flash is at least Vanix, for the most part, has tried to farm up. He is gapped in comparison to Super Marco, but hey, he hasn't died, neither has Adamir, right? Hades has just been flying around, so there might be a point in this game where Team Flash can make their way back. Again, we saw the opposite happening the previous game of 7K difference for AP Brent.
Owen was about to follow him all the way to the base there, but he decides to caca back out there just to utilize the Lord a bit more efficiently, and they're going to try to crack open the tier 2s in the mid lane first with the Bruno helping out. Caltizi trying to zone Team Flash away from that tier 2 in the mid lane, but they'll say, you know what, we'll just control the bottom lane first. Super Marco gets a free turret, and then they utilize another wave here with a built-up slow push with the Lord pushing up top. Incredible wave manipulation by AP Bren. That's the last tier 2 turret taken down by the Winions. AP Bren now looking for the base. The base turret in the top side going to be targeted down. Jay with a good Terrify onto Owen. That's a splash as well from the base turret. Lolzy jumps in but gets knocked up. Now it's another realm defensively. Adamir, that's a defensive penalty zone to defend the base. And now it's going to be Jay. What? He just gets taken out, disappearing in an instant. You blink and you miss it.
Yeah, that's the price. These are the coincident. Oh my God, this is consequences.
There it is.
That you have to
100%.
face.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Oh no!
Not anymore.
The 100%. Lolzy taking down Vanix, running for the hills. Adamir just looking for a play. Hades does no damage. The full barrage does no damage. Even with the flicker, it's still not 100. Adamir flickers backwards, and now AP Brenner doing whatever they want.
Yeah, releasing some pressure. That's the only thing Hades can do at this point by taking and making those split pushes possible. Team Flash, nothing at this point. Give me even the courage to say 20% winning chance.
Now it's 20.
Now we went from 100 to 20 here, Yasu. Well, again, hey, look at it this way. There's 0-0-0 across the board for him, Adamir, and Vanix, right?
Oh, yeah.
Can they keep it together and actually turn something around? Well, at this point, it's looking really dire. I don't even know 20% at this point because, you know, AP Bren, with this lineup that they have, and the fact that they can extend some of these team fights with the Netherrealm, that's the biggest issue. I mean, even this, Ogwen just taking a trip, you know?
He outtrades the assassin.
That shouldn't happen.
That
He's
really
enjoying.
shouldn't.
He's enjoying. But looking at the items that just like disappear right now, there was some semi items or like half items from the side of from Kyle, and he managed now to at least complete 2 of them, which is one of them is the cursed. What happened? What did I miss?
No, it's just the fact that the roamer deals more damage than the assassin.
It's weird.
Yeah, and you know what also is weird for me? This draft not winning. But anyways, let's go.
We're still on that.
Yeah, I cannot get past that because it's stick to me right now. You guys like pinned it to me, 100, 100, 100 all over the game. So Team Flash at this point, what can they do? What can they do is one good setup. Actually, yeah, one good setup can make a solid defense, and having that Netherrealm stolen from Few can make that defense possible for Team Flash.
Oh man, I'm also a believer in one good setup, but in this situation, you're 12K behind at the 13-minute mark, man, and your gold laners, that's like 4,000 gold behind.
Yeah, it's,
you know,
how many items are those? Like 2 items more?
1.5 maybe.
Yeah.
1 point. You know, I'm not good with numbers. Hades.
Me neither.
Okay.
I'm not good with numbers too.
And now, AP Brenner just utilizing a number game that they have, a 12,000 gold lead that's completely built up. It seems like Team Flash, they have no way to defend even this base turret in the mid lane. Hades has fast hands, but what can they do with this? Vanix is playing in the back, that's Adamir who jumps in the back as well. Ogwin provides the proper support. Super Marco has the win of nature, and that just might be it. No! They win the fight, but in the end it's 4-0. They didn't even let Team Flash get a kill in game number 2. Complete domination from the Hive.
Get a dominating here performance for AP Bren, the Filipino champions here. Just unstoppable, it looked like in this series.
Oh my god, things are not looking good at all for Team Flash at this point. They will wait until tomorrow. They will wait until they see Lil Gun in this group. AB Brent controls their fate right now, and right now they will just give those fist pumps to show some sportsmanship.
Again, a performance here in a way for AP Bren that, you know, game 2, man, they just flipped the script and they just came out swinging. It was a strong showing, but let's go ahead and throw it over to Manjean to talk to AP Bren for the victory.
Congratulations to the Hive, AP Bren.